What's up, everybody? This is the poker coaching study session. Today, we're going to be looking at
River Bluffs in Mike's database. So we're in Poker Tracker 4, and we're going to create a filter. So the first thing we want to do is actions and opportunities. Okay. On the river. Okay. River bets. Click on. Any river bet. That's all we care about. Good. So add that to the filter. So that's going to get us everywhere the river bet. Now we're going to add another filter. We're going to go for hand values. Okay. And we're going to go to made hands. And the first thing is going to be high card. So that's the best you got. So high card. So on the river, all you have is a high card. And then we click on that and that's on. Good. Then we add that to the filter. Okay. Then we go to, we're going to add another filter, which is, we're going to do like a bottom pair, pocket pairs and bottom pairs that get turned into bluffs. So made hands again. We're going to do one pair. And we're going to do under pair using two hole cards, turn under pair to the board. On, good. And then using one hole card, scroll down, and we will do lower pair. Okay. And we're going to add that to the filter. So now the only thing we have is, so let's just look at this. We want to bet river, and we want to see it's either a high card on the river or we made one pair on any street. Made one. No, that we had to hit a river thing. So kill that. Kill the third one. It's not on any street. We're going to add filter. Made hands. It was one other thing we had to add to our pair. So click on pair. We're going to have under pair to the board and go see where it says made one pair on any street. Change that any street to river. So we want to see that on the river, the best we have is either, good, an under pair to the board. And that'll turn both on, good. Or then scroll down, we get our lower pair. Some piece of shit like that. And that's it. Add to the filter.
Now, will that limit it to just when we make that pair on the river, or can we have a pair on the flop, but then get to the river with one pair?
It's getting to the river. It's what you have on the river is an under pair to the board.
Okay.
That's what I discovered. Now we make one other thing. You click on made hand on river, and you click on the bottom two, that one and the other one. So click on that, shift click on that, and now hit or selected. So now we have, you bet the river and you either have a high card or you made one pair on the river, or you made one pair on the river using two undercards to the board, or made one pair. Yeah, so that should be it. Now save as quick, you can either save as quick filter or just save and apply. I don't care. Save as quick filter, and this is real river bluffs, and then later you can delete the other ones. Scotty 2. There we go. Good. Save and apply. And those should all be river bluffs. One pair aces? What the hell? We missed something. Double click on that one. Okay, this is wrong. Okay. Go back to look at that, the thing we made. Something got left in there vestigially. So we're going to edit. We can click on filters. We can edit it. Okay, here we go. So look at our made hands. High card on river or made one pair. Oh, that made one pair on river. So click on the second one. Click ungroup. And now we're going to erase the ones we don't like. Click on that one again and hit ungroup again. So bottom one. So we're learning how to use this. Okay. So, kill made one pair on the river. So that first one, just X out that one. There we go. Made one pair on the river using 2 whole cards under pair to the board. Good. Made one pair on the river using 1 whole card lower pair. Now it's work. Now we got these ands. And then you click the bottom 3 together and hit or. Now we have a good one. Okay, that's it. You can save and apply. You can save it and rename it as mine, whatever you want to do. You can make it Scotty 3 or just look at it and make sure it works. There we go. High card ace, 1 pair deuces. Those are the bluffs. All right. Let's look at some.
Okay.
Now, so you'll see that you lost that this is not filtered on you, right? This is everybody screwing up. Yeah. So this is lots and lots of them. You'll see that it's $560 is lost over these 99 hands. And you'd go, shit, why am I bluffing at all if I've lost this much money? And the reason is if you didn't bluff any of these, you'd lose all of the pots. So you're trying to reduce it. It's like playing from the big blind. Of course you lose, but if you play better, you lose less than if you folded all your big blinds. All right. So play all of them or whatever, and we'll go through our usual thing. Hello, Kenneth Keppel.
Oh.
Good to see you, man.
I've been playing cash lately, but I haven't studied it all,
All right.
ever.
There's a lot of things in common with 100 big blind deep tournaments, but you're still you're under defending the big blind compared to what you're used to tremendously. And you can play very effectively with no calling range in the field if you're playing in a game with a rake. And I assume you're playing in a raked game, or are you playing in a timed game?
Great game, and I'm only playing micro, so without ever having studied cash, I'm infinitely better than everyone there, and I'm not playing any GTA whatsoever.
No, you just play pure exploitive. Okay. So I'll do the first hand and then we'll go from there. So what should happen, so the way we do this is we're going to look at the hand, we're going to say what should happen, and then we're going to say what we expect to happen, because we're also trying to build up models in our heads of how our opponents actually play. So there's a post here. It should go fold, check, fold, 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 fold. King 10 should raise. They should raise to 4.5. Let's see if that happens. I would not be shocked if the A7 call. Okay.
How do you get to see everyone's cards? Is this Iggy or something?
Yeah, this is Ignition.
Okay.
Okay. So villain 7, that King 10 was an easy raise and he did it. He didn't do it. So he missed that value there. The King 9 in this configuration, he should raise, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him just call. Okay, so that's what happens. And we go to a flop. Right, and Queen 2 should not bet it. This should go check, check, check. 6-5 does his bluff.
So there's an argument in these, like, in limp pots where ranges are so wide and the small blind just over limps. There's an argument just to dock every flop, especially if there's an ace on there, because they just, I mean, they limp a lot of shitty aces, but a lot of times you just gotta bet and take it down, I think.
Okay, that's a nice exploit.
Yeah.
Would you do it on you would do it on ace high flops? Would you also do it on king high flops?
Yeah, do it on all kind of flops, unless it's like middling crap. Like to me, a lot of the limping and over limping stuff's like all the middling portions.
Yeah.
Kind of like how we were looking at the 3-bet pot earlier. Like if it's a middling connected board, then I wouldn't do it, but.
Yeah. Okay, and then let me show you guys one thing real fast, just to remind everybody of this in limped pots. I'm going to steal the screen here just for a second. All right, this is I want limped or ranges. Ranges, is that where it lives? Where's my, I gotta just fine. Give me 1 second here. Fine. Limp. Name files that contain limp. This is what I wanted. Here we go.
You have heuristics for limp pots?
I got better than heuristics. I have data. I'll show
Oh,
it to you.
nice.
Well, now remember, this wasn't a limped pot. This was a posted pot.
You're right. You're right. I'm gonna,
Oh,
which is
well, he
kind
had the
of-
opportunity to
it's
raise.
even worse. Yeah, it's even worse. But here we go. Just to show you
This is gonna be good.
So what this is this is the actual data of what people are limping. So this is from Ignition,
Share your
from
screen.
60,000, some number of 10, 60,000 hands, something like this. And you'll see a very specific pattern.
Share your
Uh,
screen, Scotty.
Oh,
There you
I'm not sharing?
There you go.
There I am. Okay. So it's showing, you'll see, so early position limps, the darker green is how often they're done. So you'll see this sort of R shape, little small R here, small bottom pairs, bottom suited aces. That's your darkest part. You know, mid position limps, similar, it changes a little bit. Cutoff limps, they're doing even more of this. And then here's your small blind, which limps a lot, but where that area extends, but that's your shape.
And this is the number of hands, 6,786 hands.
Yeah, this is 6,700. This is out of 6,700 limps, small blind limps that I've seen in my database.
I wonder if this data is collected from 100 big blind stacks or if these are broken stacks to combo.
No clue. No clue, Dean. Yeah, didn't do anything for it. Just
I would imagine it's your whole database, right? So that it's
my whole
going
day.
to
It's
include
everything.
broken stacks. It's going to include everything. Yeah.
It includes everything. But you'll see that, you'll see how aces become underrepresented on the button compared to early position, where people like to think that they're clever. And also, from the small blind. Not too,
And you should never have any limps in the small blind, right? Open limps.
you should not have no open limps in the small blind if you're playing in a raked game. In
Right.
a non-raked game, you can. And it's your choice. Okay, so now having done that, let's go back to the actual hand.
Shows you how horrible everybody is.
The tournament hands, because they're all short stacked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we go.
tournaments
Right.
are different.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but it's 29 big blinds and 49 big blinds, so it's not too far off.
so when he bluffs this, I would expect the king nine could go on, but I don't see why he should bother. He could. I think in a multi-way pot, you guys both can fold. Let's see what
I
actually
would fold.
You can
Right.
check raise.
But this is Mike, and Mike doesn't believe this guy for a second. Mike looks at this guy and says,
Love it.
you did not take your option pre-flop. You don't have an ace. I'm going to take this away from you on a 4, a 5, or a diamond. And on a queen, I'm going to check call. That's
They
what
don't
Mike,
have any strong aces anyway, right? So.
yeah, that's what Mike says. All right.
Like a 4, 5.
4. There we go.
diamond, you're
Mike
good.
is going to take this away, and Mike is going to take this away with either a check raise here. I don't think he's going to donk on it. He's going to check raise, or he's on a check. He's going to bluff the river. Check, check, and Mike bluffs the river successfully here.
Yeah, I would go
Small.
bigger.
Zone raise.
He's just trying to get. He's just trying to get, I guess, a king. Are you trying to even get a pair to fold with this, Mike? What are you thinking?
No, yeah, any ace is, any ace will call pretty much any size bet, right?
Mhm.
Probably any jack, any pair almost. So really, yeah, I mean,
You're just trying to get a king to fold because you're bluffing with the best hand.
I'm not
Or-
happy with the size here, but I think, yeah, the king, pretty much any hand in range that isn't a pair.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it's like,
queen 7 is nice to fold, right?
All I'll
Yeah.
say that he just never has an ace. He's playing 20, 30 big blind stack or whatever, and he bets flop, checks turn. He's just never has an ace.
Yeah,
Like these bit players don't check aces.
exactly. So once you did that, you had him. I think you could bet a little bigger to try to get a 3 to fold, a 4 to fold.
yeah, I agree. I'm not happy with the size.
Yeah. Okay, good enough. All right. Tura is next.
It should fold around to the button. And aces should 3-bet. Big blind fold. Now, big blind, I would still fold. Check. I would probably check queen nine.
I think Mike's gonna bet.
Yeah.
And I thought Mike was gonna bet
vote.
bigger because this is a board you don't get to bet as frequently. So I thought you would bet more polarized, but okay.
So here's the question, Tim, again, it's cash, but they are only playing 50 effective, like theoretically, they don't have 2x and 3x in range, and,
Right.
but in real life, they do, right?
Cool.
Like they're gonna defend all their bullshit and.
It's, you can't say that they don't have it, but it's super underrepresented. So you can
Right.
go ahead and simplify your life and say they don't have.
Compared to tournaments, I mean, so they have far less of this, right? The 3
Yeah.
and
Oh,
and
yeah.
even the 8 actually is far less, right?
They've got a lot, they've got a lot of small pairs. They've got suited gappers, suited connectors here.
So
But
the
they're
offsuit, like,
and-
do they defend Jack 8 off in cash at all, if we're
well, they
playing?
never should. They never should. They should be folding all of that.
Okay,
But what we've
alright.
discovered is this. So if you take a look at the actual correct small blind range, which the calling range, you'll see it's just that little bit of green there. What we do is we give them a modified big blind range because it is very rare to find someone playing at our stakes who calls in the small blind correctly. In other words, who's got a good small blind strategy. Instead, they're either like us and they have a raise or fold strategy, in which case they're either implementing it well or badly, or they're playing much worse than us and they're basically playing a big blind range from the small blind.
Yeah, I agree with that. What is the big blind range? Because I actually thought they were in the big blind.
Okay,
So that look like real quick?
so just click on the big blind calling range there.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Yeah, so like even that, yeah, I still didn't think, I didn't think they had offsuit eights, right? So like I kind of have an idea what these ranges are supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, to me, I mean, so we can't range bet when they just brick it out like this. We don't get the range bet small.
Mhm.
So would we?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I was saying that
Yeah.
I believed that this was not a range bet small, but let's look at it. We've got the thing up here. So they call with this range and let's give them this board. And I think that we don't get to range bet this board. Therefore, when we bet larger. That's
Well, I would think you're right, because you study this shit. I know. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really play against these ranges.
he checks. Yeah. So
Yeah.
not a range bet, but every hand in range bets, every one of our hands in range does some betting. And the bet sizes are focused more around the 50% than the 1.8.
Chunky.
1.8 is it's still represented. And our particular hand was queen nine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not wrong. Just the bigger sizes are better.
So,
No.
and the thing is, when it actually uses, when it can check or bet all the sizes
Mhm.
at some weight, the EV is exact, regardless of what the solver might say.
Yeah.
The EV is exactly the same,
Yeah. Yep.
because it's not solved all the way down to get to that,
Yeah.
but it would,
But we-
it would if it was allowed to.
But if you thought, Mike, this was your hand. So here, knowing what you know now, would you tend to make the smaller bet or would you tend to bet bigger?
On that board, I usually do make a little size up. Now, I have been changing a little bit of strategy because now, number one, he's kind of a broken stack, so that may have played into it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I will assign if it's an unknown or we call them fish in the small blind who flats.
Mhm.
I do not assign them like we saw here, a normal GTO style range of small blind.
Click on the
do
call.
give
Click on the
them-
call right there, just for a second. Show the range just with a call, so we make it really clear how small that range is. That's the range.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
I
and
don't,
that
I
is
don't
not
give them,
50%.
this is not a range I'm assigning
No.
like fish when they flat the small blind. It's more like a big blind range.
Yep, I like it.
Yeah.
So the smaller, this flop would definitely, you would typically see probably half pot here for me. And I don't know if this played into it, this shorter stack or not.
Okay.
But I also know that if their range on the big blind, here's their big blind range, as we saw earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Unclick this, which is going to be, I think, wider than this and also less three betting, like way less three betting. You're not going to see any of this bluffing
Yeah.
going on. Then I think now you get more of a range type C bet,
Okay.
a range
Okay,
and a smaller in theory
Gotcha.
when their range is wide.
Okay, sounds good. All right, let's give this back to Arturus. It's his hand, not ours.
Yeah, I think small blinds calling range is stronger than big blinds, and I don't think this small bet generates nearly, like, I don't think it generates any folds, more or less.
Okay.
So yeah, with aces I would probably call as well if I get in this situation, because button doesn't hit that board. Like, if he range bets, he just has a lot of air.
Yep.
And yeah. Mm,
0% on the turn.
um, I don't know what to do with queen nine. I would probably check back.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if we think that they're playing more of like a big blind range, and this is just really all over their bullshit, right?
Okay.
Yeah, just check call. I mean check raise. And queen nine I would give up.
Give up, yeah. I know what I do here. I know I do bet this, and in hindsight, I think it was pretty bad, but I was going, I was kind of thinking he's going to fold pretty much his whole range unless he has an ace or a six.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I didn't know what size to use, so I kind of went small, I think, if I remember right.
So I got a couple comments, even though I don't play cash.
Let's
I
hold on one
think-
second before you go, Ken. Let's see what let the hand finish. Let's see what the aces do, whether they raise them or not. Okay. All right, now Ken.
So a couple things. You bet twice, so their range is starting to get condensed, and their unmade hands are going to be mostly all ace high type hands, right? That get to the river. And then the other thing is, in position, you don't get that small of a bet on the river.
Right. Yep. Yeah, it was that was unusual for sure.
But if you think about their calling range, like it's a lot of bullshit. So small bet's effective. You're gonna fold all their crap that whatever they float, right? King, I don't know if they have. I don't even know what they float here because it's a rainbow board, like, but whatever like high bullshit they have, she bluffing the bottom up's good, right? But like ace highs, if they're defending, like you bet twice and they're just calling, like their unmade hands are most gonna be ace X.
Yeah, I would say when you make that big bet on the turn, that the only thing left in their range when that four comes and they've now folded their king queen and like that. The only things they've got left are the pocket pairs they didn't raise before, which are, all good, all pretty good now. And, the cards between the 4 and the 8, and everything else is a pair and the ace. There's just nothing left. So you've got to, at minimum, you've got to get a pair to fold with your bluff because they've got it, because they have a pair here at minimum.
And you can't get ace high to fold.
No.
Yeah.
So
They can't get ace to fold. I'm almost surprised.
Maybe a bigger
I-
bet
if I
to
had
get
the
the
aces
X to
there,
fold.
I don't think I would raise the aces there if I were him. I would,
Surprise me.
yeah. I mean, I have the best hand all the time, but I'm never getting called by something less than a 6, and I'm splitting with another ace.
would it be a dream to have pocket sixes there? Just get all his chips.
Wouldn't it be a
Laugh
dream
out.
to have queen, to be doing the whole bluff with 6, 7? All right. Next
Yeah,
hand,
right.
Dean.
Let's see. Seven, eight. Can the queen nine open?
Little early.
Give me too early. Then king five opens and 10 queen. Is there any flatting on the button?
Right.
Oh, a limp.
Yeah.
Ugh. Now I'm just don't even know. Uh, wow, fold. Queen 10. I would raise to 4.5. Oh, it's a hero.
Yeah.
Nice.
Watch him
Yeah,
talk. Oh, he
obviously.
doesn't talk. Shocking.
Check. You throw like half pot or something, or bigger. Are you betting here?
Yep.
Good third. He could check raise. Good check raise hand.
Yeah, I like the check. I like the check raise from Villain if he was
Right.
there. If none of us would be here, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But see,
And-
here's
and
another
here's-
thing, right? They're loose passives. They don't really raise until they have a good hand. The overwhelming majority of those player types won't raise unless they have something. So like he's passive, he's trying to see a flop. He's got a little piece he's trying to catch. He's going to call down. Like that's how they do, it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way we identify them very quickly is who fits in that category. We start with
Limpers.
if they limp, then we put them in that category until they show themselves to be otherwise. We add all these other, once we see somebody limp, we add all these characteristics to them immediately. We think they're too loose, we think they're too passive, and that they play the way that Ken just described until they prove otherwise. If
We'll
you
check,
if you meet someone and they tell you're a vegetarian, you assume they're against nuclear power until you find out otherwise.
Yeah, you gonna check back, Mike? You got the club. You don't want to get check raised off this, so it gets a 40 big blind stack. Oh,
Hell no. Mike picked up equity.
Yeah, I would want bigger probably, honestly.
can't fold 9-10 now. You got the 10 of clubs. And hit the ace. You gotta fucking fight your way out. Put him
You
in.
don't block hearts. Go.
I would have put him in though, because it looks weird.
successful or
I
no?
like this. I was torn here. I really like this because we have a club, and I like to bluff when the club, like I barrel the turn, and then when I get a club on a river, I'm going to bluff, but like
Mhm.
almost every time. But then the other thing, I got like two things pulling at me. Their unmade hands often are going to be an ace again, right? So it's like, I don't know what to do in this spot.
This is a great spot to bluff here.
And you kind of block folds with the a queen and a 10 kind of blocks like floats that would fold now, which is rough too.
No, because look at it this way, Ken. Your 10 is great. Your 10 blocks 8-10. Your,
True.
you know, your queen blocks the other queen tens.
Well,
but
the
you,
8-10 doesn't matter as
no,
much.
7, 8,
The
9,
club.
10. 7,
No,
8,
I
9.
know, but it's the 10 of clubs, you know.
10 is great. You block a club, which is great. You unblock hearts, which is great. Your queen and 10 block his jacks and put him closer to having a 7 that he's called with, which you're trying to get to fold. This is a good bluff hand. We can't really put it in the solver,
Oh.
because of the limp, but we
Broken
could
segment.
construct this, if we wanted to, and I think it's a really good bluffing candidate.
Yeah, but we would never have queen 10 if they open raised.
Right, we would have to have queen 10 suited,
Oh, okay.
and we would just make it queen 10. We couldn't get the club blocker, but
Yeah.
I don't think
so-
we need to put it in the solver because
Yeah.
we're also
Yeah, I
also
wouldn't.
not playing against a solver.
Right.
So I think this is a great bluff. And does it work? I bet it does.
Yeah, and so sizing wise, like, do we get what we want with this size, or are we gonna get, is an all-in unnecessary?
All in is unnecessary in my opinion, but I think you want to push it up to 27. And the reason is not because of the size of the pot, because of the size of his stack. I think you want to threaten more than half his stack. You want to make him unhappy with the amount of chips that he has left.
I do have one more comment.
Yeah.
Limpers will limp. Here's another thing that's like pulling against me wanting to bluff this all the time is limpers will limp so much fucking suited shit, right? You bet small on a flop or whatever they call, they pick up clubs on a turn. Now, like this guy could have, in my mind, he could have king two suited. That's how limpers are, right? They got a good suit, they got a suited head. They want to try to see flops and make flushes. Like, so I'm a little nervous there. As for
Yep.
that too.
But a
Yeah.
lot of hearts too, you know.
That's optimistic. He's got a pair he ain't folding.
Yep.
It's horrible.
I
Should have got
I
through. You should have
think
got through,
That's
honestly.
so weird. Yeah.
I remember
I-
that he snap called too. It was like,
Right. There you go. All right, Ken,
Yeah.
hand is yours.
Dang, go ahead and
Fine.
go.
So we go around the
Well-
horn.
Mhm.
So, button cutoff, hijack, low jack, everything on one. Like I opened this in tournaments. I mean, so I'm gonna open it. It might be loose in cash, but I
Which
opened
one?
the jack nine.
Oh, the jack nine. That's too early for the jack nine, but it's not, but it's not egregiously early. We don't open that yet
it,
here.
it's off the charts for cash, but it certainly wouldn't be a huge mistake.
So then I would open king seven off from the button. Cause I just think people are weak and I'm gonna play really wide on the button.
King seven is in. You can open the king seven on the button. It's a mix open, and so you can do it 100% of the time because you play well. But what do you want to do with king seven against a limp?
So typically when people limp, I like to raise my opening range, but I have limitations, right? Like I don't raise my stone cold bottom over limpers. So like if I had king seven suited here, I'd probably just I'd raise, but I'm folding this.
Yeah, I agree. I like it as a fold too. All right,
And
so
to be raising so wide, like I noticed a guy used a 4.5x raise over limp earlier, and I don't have any strong opinions one way or the other for that. I think it's good because people like to call, but I typically ISO smaller so I can raise more of my range, like over limpers. So I go like 3.5x, 3.5 to 4, and I
four,
raise a ton of shit
I would push you towards your 4 rather than your 3.5 in the
because you're
cash.
100 deep typically in cash. So yeah, I mean it makes sense, you know.
You're 100 deep, and there's a rake. You get them folding out is so great.
Okay.
And 3 is definitely too small. 3.5, I don't like, but fine. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
I would a 4.
I use 3.5 in tournaments, so like, yeah, 4, I think you're probably spot on, so I'll have to start, I'll adjust up.
Yep. Okay. So now
Limped pot. Should we
you're in
just
the pot, you're in the big blind. What do you want to do, Kep?
Bonk. Just lead. Like, I don't have, whatever, like, what do they got? They lit.
Right, just lead into ace and king.
I
high
think
board.
it's great leading on ace high boards. They're gonna,
Okay.
even though they lip some aces, the most of their range is all other bullshit. And this is like a really dry board, hard for them to defend. Just lead and they're gonna fold so much stuff.
Okay. I predict Mike is going to check.
Yeah, I like that. I like that strategy though.
Okay.
Now I look at their HUD. If they lip like if their raise first in is like uber low, that means they're raising like they're lipping like strong ace X too. But if
Right.
they have a reasonably decent raise first in at like a high VPIP, like
Yeah.
these 40, 50, 60% VPIP, right? And a
Right.
raise first in at like 15, they're raising most of their
Everything else is shit. Right.
yeah, they're raising most of their aces and limping, and they're good at they're raising most of their good hands and just limping bullshit.
What
And yeah,
size do you donk? What size do you donk on the limped pots?
this here, I'd probably just go like 2.
And
Okay.
if it were multi-way, do you kind of take
I don't
take
bluff
that strategy
multi.
down a notch?
I don't bluff multi-way out of position, really, honestly. I just if I have it, I'm gonna if I flop strong, I'm not bluffing. I'm just betting my good hands. I'll lead all my good hands right away.
One thing that we've seen, and we look at these cards up kind of hands a lot, and one thing we see from limpers is when they limp and then get checked to, oftentimes you see a pot-sized donk, or not donk, a pot-sized bet from them after they've limped in position.
Right. And it's when they hit, and it's usually they've hit the 3, if they have any pair, they go pot size, and the pot size is small because the pot hasn't been raised.
It's even when they don't hit, Scott. We've seen it a lot.
We've seen a lot of
we've
just.
seen them pot size bet almost like probably, I'm thinking 60 to 70% of the time, regardless of their hand.
Okay,
Is that,
It's interesting. I was watching, this goes back to like 3, 4 years. I've been in poker coaching a long time. Back when they had a forum, and there was a new guy, and he was like brand new player basically, and he was streaming. He's like, "Oh, check out my stream." So I go in and I watched him for a little bit. He open limped, right, and got called. And he says, "Okay, I opened the pot, so now I have a range advantage, so I'm going to bet." Like he thought limping his
Yeah.
was like an open that gave him license to just see bet high, like an ace high flop. Oh, I opened, so I got all the best aces. But no, you didn't open, dude. You lit. But that's how their mind, like some players' minds work. Like newer players don't really understand.
so Mike, the one thing you were saying that you found that you saw them doing a lot of pot size betting with their whole range when no one has raised them. And I don't remember seeing that. So you might be right. But I wouldn't take that as a strong heuristic yet. Because I remember it being more like when they hit a pair, they're so, hit a pair, hit a decent draw, they do that. But
I've
they-
seen them doing it, but not like multi-way,
Right.
mostly just.
Okay.
I've
But this
seen some of it, and like it kind of makes sense because like we didn't raise, right? So we don't have any good aces either. So like why shouldn't he pot it here? Like if
Yeah.
he's not a thinking player. If he was a thinking player, he's like, well, this guy ain't got shit. I'm just gonna he ain't got an
Yeah.
ace. He fucking
Yep.
limped.
Yeah.
Limped
So check.
behind. He ain't got nothing good. Bet.
All right. But now we're on the turn. It's gone check on the flop. What would you like Hero to do, Ken? I think I know your answer.
I mean, you got that high, but I gotta start bluffing.
All right. Let's see if he does it now. Oh, I'm so sorry for you, Mike.
Yeah, see, like now, like all the cards are out there. Like, I don't think they would fold a 3 now.
Yeah.
If they limped like king 3 suited and just check that, check, I don't even think they're folding a 3.
so now if you check the turn, do you not go for it on the river?
I mean, I would have gone for it by now, so
Yeah. And if you hadn't, now you just
I'm just
forget
done
about your
with
10
it.
high.
Yeah, I'm done with it. I mean, but it's not bad. You can bet small and still fold out air. So, like, I think it's fine on it, honestly. But I think it's better to do it earlier.
I think you can get a queen. I think you can get a queen to fold there. I think you can get a king to fold there, and both
Yeah,
of those.
you can definitely get high cards to fold.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
so, yeah. All right, Larry, you're up.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, guys. Just pull around to the button. I think the button usually gets to play that. So we're gonna blind versus blind. Yeah, I think 10-8 as an open is good. Ace-6, I think mostly is a call. I think normally in blind versus blind, we're always gonna have a checking range, always gonna have a betting range. These ranges are so wide. So our hero can do either. Genuinely, I think I would check a lot here. Didn't really. Yeah, so we go check.
So, I got a comment. What's interesting about blind versus blind, I don't know about in cash, but when we raise the small blind, they don't have, they're supposed to fold a lot of this junk. So they don't have top or much of the bottom. And the same when we raise, like even if we limp and they just check behind, a study player won't have much of the bottom either or the top because they're supposed to raise a lot of the junk in a limp pot. And then when we raise, they lose a lot of junk too. So this probably bets a decent amount. Honestly, you're connected with the 8. So like I think you can bet this a decent amount.
Yeah, I think generally what we see is that we protect our checking range pretty strongly in spots.
How about the check?
Um,
How about the check back with ace-6 here, Larry? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm never good with that.
I think I would probably bet. I think that you want some protection.
Yeah.
You've got backdoor equity. I think I would generally bet. If I was villain 27.
If I was villain 27, I would bet that 100% of the time. I would never check the back that 6.
So it goes check. he's capped. Genuinely, I think in these wide range versus wide range spots. I mean, you prefer to have some kind of backdoor equity. You're at the bottom of range. I mean, if you can construct a two-street bluff here, so you can. I would, if I was gonna bluff this, I would bet small here and then big bet on most rivers.
Say the size.
So like a B33, I would
Okay.
use here, and then pot river.
Sounds good. All right, let's see what hero does.
Check.
So you went check, check,
Mhm.
and we have, yeah, so I would have chosen a two-street bluff if I was choosing to bluff. So here, I don't know. You're really not winning a showdown, so we can put it better.
Yeah, I probably would have gone pot with an 8, probably just blocks the straights, but
But blocks it blocks the better straight. There's still a one card
Yeah.
straight out there with just a 4.
can we see how to play this in theory? Cause I'm kind of curious, honestly.
Sure.
Cause it is a raise pot, it's a real hand.
Yeah, let's do it. And then, while you're
Probably
doing
bet pot
that,
pretty, you probably bet flop kind of chunky too,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe pot.
and while you're putting that in, you'll see that calling range there, at the bottom, it does, the big blind gets a lot of has a lot of 2 pairs on this and even has the straight. So that lower region, is well
Is there
represented.
range?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
they don't have the
No, this is the
offsuit.
small, no, this is the small blind range.
Oh,
You
okay.
see the big blind, you're gonna see the big blind range. They don't have the offsuit, but they don't have a lot of offsuit stuff, you'll see.
Right.
So the first thing is in GTO to notice is that the small blind checks range here out of position. He just does that nice simplification.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never knew that.
And that, by the way, the reason that you would say, I don't want to do that you want to do it, you want to do a reverse exploit is that they don't float wide enough. And so a lot of the jump balls you could take just by betting. So in a lot of places where GTO checks full range out of position, you can play better than your opponents by not doing that in betting, but you can play much better than your opponents by check raising relentlessly. But you will lose. There are hands that you will lose that you would have won the other way. It's just you get more money playing the check raise, the check raise aggressively line. All right, so here we go. We've got the 8-10, and I'll let you talk, Mike, about this.
Well, yeah, so it was check range, we checked, and here's their range after we checked. They checked, but that's their range. And we talked about that A6. It just wants to bet.
Yeah.
All the 6x down to, these are kind of getting into the gutter territory, but they checked. What do we have? Jack diamonds.
Yep.
Let me check again.
Our hand likes to check, but notice they look at these overbets. Once they check and they cap their range.
Yeah.
And we still maintain our strong hands.
3x pot. Holy.
I think the 10-8 at the time, I mean, I don't remember the hand, but I almost wondered if I was going to be over bluffing too much with that hand, like there was more options available, and who knows? I mean, against probably population, it's just fine to be aggressive and go for it.
Yeah.
All right, pure check.
After we check, they checked again with their A6, which is probably, yeah.
So I have a question to the group. The only person is there anyone here who any part of their range was betting 3x pot on that turn? Any of these hands, whether the bluffs, the value, any of it. I'm not, I probably have a 125% bet. I just,
I would go 2x sometimes. But
good for you.
Yeah, good. Yep.
I
that's
think
good.
it's set habs. I think we need set habs to go 3x here.
And seven of spades. They've checked their ace six this whole way. They, in theory, get to block bet. They check. And now we need to
Oh.
go for it at a B75 clip pretty much throughout the range.
And I think you did,
I
right?
was a little big. I was pot.
I don't
Yeah.
remember the size here. What did I do?
I think you did.
I think it was like half or, yeah, a little more than half, 60, 70, 75.
Lose a little bit
Close
more.
enough.
Actually, that might be B70. That might actually be B75 after the rake.
Yeah, they take the rake out. I probably made it
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, that's probably good. Okay. JD, you're up if you want it.
But that was, yeah, that was a good a good illustration of the checking range out of position in cash, 100 big blinds deep on the flop.
Yeah.
Hello.
To this kind of flop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have never got that in a million years.
Yeah, you'll start seeing, you'll see a lot of those. All right, JD, you're up.
It should fold pretty much all the way around, but maybe I mean, I don't think the hero's really opening that
There's a sliver of it. You can do it.
sliver. Okay.
Yeah, it's like 20, it's in the 12 and a half, 15% range. So it's there.
So we'll see hero versus big blind, I'm assuming. And the call is fine,
I
probably.
would fold it.
Do they three bet here, these type hands? I don't like, I mean.
I'll
with
show it to you.
Cut off hijack versus low jack, I'd guess not.
Yeah.
Versus. the
No,
late
they should
position.
fold it.
Yeah,
Show
when you say they kept, do you mean of tip population or do you mean in theory?
Yeah, I mean, in theory, big blind.
No, I
Versus
think it's
late
I think
position,
it's
I
a
guess.
fold.
It's a fold.
Here's that king 10 sliver.
Mm.
Yep.
I will probably make this more often depending on the players behind me. If there's a bunch of 3-betting going on or really good players, I will pass on it for sure. But that re-raise and then ace 7 through ace pretty much lower, I think is folding, right? Yeah, even ace 9.
Oh, really? Okay, wow.
My population doesn't fold an ace, right?
No, absolutely not.
So I guess,
And,
yep.
but you should.
Yes.
They're raising, they have fewer of their raising bluffs because some of those bluffs get turned into limps. And yada, yada, yada. Okay.
So yeah, we'll see check and then hero can probably take like maybe like a half pot sizing or something here. Okay, check back. I think that's fine too. I don't know.
This,
Uh,
yeah, I think we
what do
can
you
look
guys
at
think?
this one too. We'll see that this one probably checks quite a bit or bets big.
So I think this one probably doesn't bet big. Look, I want to look at this one, be fun to look up. This is my prediction. That you bet with a 10 often. You do some checking, but you bet often as a draw, but you don't bet large because the straight is already in. So that
Yeah,
pushes
I-
down. So
I
you have no
agree.
you have almost no 75 there, and you'll be concentrated in the 25, 33 with a little bit of 50 with this hand. That's my guess. We'll find out.
I agree.
So it went check, check, a villain checked again.
Yep.
Well, we already know they're quite weak, so I don't know. I mean, I think we can set up probably a pretty decent double barrel and expect them to fold a lot of their hands.
We also have a double gut. I mean, we're pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah. We could get there. We're not gonna.
Of course.
But we could.
Yeah, I guess he'll call for the open ender also.
And I think we've seen, yeah, I don't know about this call either. The open enders on the turn. In theory, I think when we do run it, because we'll look at this one, I think it's going to want to fold a lot of these open enders without some other blocker property to it,
I'd be interested too. I would suspect that,
to this size.
yeah, that our,
But-
that the bigger size, when we do the real polarized on the turn size, they have to fold, but I think this size they can call.
They're just not gonna have offsuit sevens in the range.
It's a good point.
That's-
It's probably pretty close.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, but
think.
we'll just give him A7 suit. We'll just give him A7 suited of, you know, of diamonds. They got,
Yeah, I guess we just take another, like. Yeah, no, like, yeah, like 2/3 or something is probably good here. Expect him to fold like a 6 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is kind of an interesting one.
Yep.
So we saw low jack raising, we saw big blind calling, they should
and
fold.
and he's got A7, right, and he has A7 of diamonds. That's what his hand is, by the way.
What do we got? 9 of clubs, 6 of spades. 8 of hearts. This is probably donk. Oh yeah, there's plenty of donking happening on this flop to an
Donk
early position like
range.
that.
wow.
This is a donk board. This is a donk range board. And his ace, but he does have, he checks his A7 occasionally, so that's good.
So here's another thing. When they don't play when you're playing against someone that's not sophisticated
Mhm.
and they don't play a sophisticated leading strategy like that, you typically want to basically check back range.
Mm-hmm.
Cause that means
Because-
all those strong hands and really good draws they haven't led with, they're still all in their range. Whereas when they lead 90% of the range, they're just, most of them are gone.
Right. And you can see here that the solver agrees with you. You know, it's not 100% check, but it's, you know, checking
Well,
60% of the
If
range.
you have AI,
No.
if you force them to not lead, you'll see your checks are gonna be, you're gonna check probably, I'll say 80% of your range back.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Kev,
yeah.
do you have the AI? Do you have the AI, Ken?
I don't, but I've used it for that,
Okay,
for
gotcha.
looking at spots like this and in tournaments. I can't imagine it be any different. Like
Makes sense.
when you study a tournament, the big blind's supposed to lead like 40-50% of range, whatever. And they don't, if you say, okay, this person doesn't play that strategy and you take it out, your checks just skyrocket, your check back skyrocket.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've
Now,
seen that too, Scotty. We've seen that before.
Yeah.
50-50 mix on whether we see bet here now or not, and the fact that they check behind their whole range in theory. Population isn't doing it, but
Yeah.
we see it.
Okay.
Queen of clubs.
What would be the sizing? Did you check?
Small, B33.
And now their range is dust.
Right.
So we were giving them sort of the A7 of diamonds, right?
Yep.
They should be, now that we've checked back, they should be going a little bit ham here with their open ender.
Yeah.
All their open end, all their 7X. Well, yeah, even that's gutter. That's pair. That's pair.
Yeah, they're going super polar with it. They're going 125. Not even 75 when they go. That's their most common size with the 7 is the 125 with their hand.
They check. Our king 10 wants to start bluffing.
Mhm.
And there's some kind of suit. Clubs are better. For bluffing. What
And
did we use?
And it went across the range, and size-wise, it went across the range.
What size did we use? We used like a B75, yeah.
Yeah, we did B75.
And let's see if their open enders, what they do to a B75. A7 of diamonds folds. All their 7X folds,
Okay.
except their pairs.
Would you make the range
Oh yeah.
or something, just so we get to see the colors easily?
So I wonder how, so they have to defend a portion of their range. I wonder how, if they don't play a leading strategy, they have more junk in their range. I wonder if they have to start defending this. In theory, if they would have to defend it more or not. I don't know.
If we went smaller, do their 7X start to call? Yeah, their 7X starts to get in there with raising.
Raising,
Raising.
right? But it only calls with a pair. So the unpaired sevens all turn into raises against the smaller size.
So that might affect our, since they've called, it might affect our strategy here with the, what was it? 3 of spades?
The blank of blank.
Likes a big bet, likes a big bluff with the king 10.
Okay. And and going into this, I forgot, what was oh, my prediction was on the size on the flop was that when we bet, we had to bet small.
Yep.
And that was true, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was true.
Yeah. Okay.
If we made, yeah, I don't think we could change anything. Yeah, that was right.
Yeah. Okay. It is skate.
Alrighty then. Open ace king hero.
We got the nuts.
Yep, ace king versus ace king.
Please tell me this guy raises.
Yeah.
What are you making it, Skate?
Okay, so out of position, at least 4x. Yeah, like around 4x. So let's go like around 10. Yeah, like at least 10.
Yeah, 10 would be minimum for sure.
11.5.
Oh, skate, the reason I didn't post that earlier thing, was because we kept using solvers and they didn't work. So it was a session of us just not really doing anything. So I just didn't post it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you for noticing.
Yeah, I noticed, but I didn't remember that we were just like not doing.
Yeah, that was
anything.
one. It was the one where Peak wasn't giving us post flops that day, and then we used GTO Wizard and we only did 10 hand. Blah blah blah. Moving on.
Okay.
All right, you got 3 bet, Skate.
Okay. 3 bet here. What are we doing with the offsuit ace? See. Time to get up. I think that I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I think at 100. I'm just trying to think. At 100 bigs, I think that we can get in here, but am I jamming in real life or am I 4 betting? I think I'm usually 4 betting. Let's go like 35, maybe.
Your
That's
4-bet
too
size can
big.
be smaller
That's too
in terms of GTO. And I'm not saying that you want to play GTO, but just so you know that the GTO thing is more like 2.2 there when you do it, because you're in position. So, and it's because your 4-betting range is so strong, you don't have to blow them off things.
Yeah,
But you could choose to go bigger for a specific exploit. And you can always jam ace king. You're always allowed to just jam it.
yeah. Maybe if
Yeah.
we were deeper, we could go like more. But yeah.
Yeah, if we were to plug this in here, you'll see the 4-bet size will be about 23, 24,
25.
25.
And
And then
you can also call.
Yeah. And calling's gonna go, and I assume that there's some sliver of just jamming it.
yeah.
For what
And
it's
you
worth, I
certainly-
love calling in real life with this hand because they just don't, they're not polarizing. Like they don't have enough bluffs. So like I'm already hating my life with this hand, but I'm not folding it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Who's calling?
And the earlier you are,
who's
the
calling?
more calling you'll see in the charts.
Okay. Okay. So we called, and this is the flop. Okay, we have a gutter with 2 overs. They could still have all the sets. Would they go half pot with the? I mean, not half pot. I mean, this is their standard.
They don't have sevens.
Yeah.
1/3. Yeah, no, yeah, not sevens.
But they have jacks and tens.
More jacks, but yeah, true. I mean, I can see the hands, right? I don't want to be influenced by the hands, but I think we have to peel one we could peel one on the flop. What do you guys think?
Hell yeah. Hell's yeah.
Yeah. So let's do so. I like their check. We can see when they bet the flop and they check the turn. I think it's going to eliminate the aforementioned sets that we mentioned. I think there is a one-liner, so of course they can't have still very strong hands. Whatever. I think we can check behind to this one-liner.
I like that.
I don't mind the bet. I mean, they shouldn't have any 9x in their hand. So
They,
yeah.
they do have like 9-10, 8-9, Queen 9.
These guys don't.
Yeah,
Jack
nothing.
9.
Maybe
Yeah,
maybe
they didn't
solver,
three
but
bet. They didn't 3-bet the 8-9 suited pre-flop.
yeah.
But yes,
Well-
the solver has it.
Do you think they're checking back aces,
They might.
kings?
I think
might.
they
Ace
could.
jack?
I think they could because of the one-liner.
Yeah.
I think they could too. That's why, I
Yeah.
mean, I would check this back a lot too, but I mean, I don't hate a bet here.
We're gonna talk we're gonna talk about that, on the, after we do the river. Why that bet's so good.
Now for sure shoving down.
Okay, now they called. Why? I'm not sure, but they called. Yeah, I imagine they're gonna check again.
They checked.
They don't have. Okay, they check. I think we don't really have showdown value, but I mean they called. I mean, like they could still have pairs, and I'm just like, this is my first hand, so I can't even think too much right now. Let me get a drink of water. I think I'm really. What are we trying to get to fold? I think I'm just checking back. I think I'm probably giving up with ace king here. I don't know.
Yeah, Scotty made a good point. Like when our range is so tight, we do have to find uncomfortable bluffs sometimes. This would be an uncomfortable bluff for me and I wouldn't have did it.
Yeah, in hindsight,
Yeah.
I don't think I like it.
I love it. I would prefer you to have a diamond, but you can't always have what you want. So here's the thing that I see on this. He is massively capped when that 8 comes and he doesn't bet it. He doesn't have the 9. He can have a pair. He could have a set, but he could easily have a jack, a single jack, a 10. He could have aces or kings. Now the question is, can you get aces or kings to fold by the river on a 4-liner? Often, yeah, sometimes you can. And so if you're going to try to get them to fold by the river, you make your decision on the turn. You make your whole decision on the turn. And that is, I'm going to try to get him to fold. If you're going to do that, the best way to do it money-wise is not to bet big on the turn and try to get the fold there. It's to try to get called on the turn and get a fold on the river.
On brick rivers, right?
What?
On a brick river.
Uh,
So you're not doing this on. what
I'm
do you
doing
do
it on
if
a
it's
6.
What do you do if it's a 10, a 9, a 7, an 8?
I'm not doing it on a 9. I'm
What
doing
about a
it
king?
on a king. I don't have to. On a king,
No,
I
king's
change.
not a brick. Ace isn't a brick, a king isn't a brick, and a queen isn't a brick. So anything that's not, anything below a queen, anything below, yeah. So like, I think you just do it on low cards, right? Like 6x, 5x, 4x, 3x.
Low cards, pair. I'm doing it. I'm probably doing it on the 7. I'm probably doing it on the 8 because I don't expect that has
Oh, the
sets
diamond
here
isn't
very
brick.
often. I see a lot of pairs, but I don't see the sets very often, and I'm willing to lose all my money.
I
But-
think the sets might check a lot on the turn.
They could, but also, if you look at his whole range, sets are underrepresented in his range. Sometimes I'm gonna get screwed, okay? he can have a set. He can also have the straight and slow play it. But if I'm going to do the bluff here, this is my thought process. I'm going to make this a bluff, so I want to make it the most profitable bluff it can be. So I want to bet the turn, and you bet 12, which is fine. I want to bet a little bit more like 18 just to get more money in, but I still want to make sure I have a pot-sized bluff on the river. So I just want to go a little bit bigger here to get a little bit more money in now, and then I'm going to check the river and try to get all that money.
I have an argument. If when you bet small on the turn, you're wrapping, like, what are you wrapping with a small bet on the turn? If you had
A
a flush
nine that's
draw,
trying to get value.
if
A
you
nine
had a
that's
flush
getting
draw,
value.
if you had a flush draw, you would more likely check, right? And if you had a straight, you would bet bigger.
Not
So
necessarily.
yeah,
I want to get call, I want to get calls with my straight. I don't have to bet big.
yeah, but you don't want to get a flush draw to call, right?
Like you're right. You're right. 10-9 of diamonds. It's only one combo, but that's the combo that bets that.
Also, I think with ace king, you're
Right.
blocking his
Right.
folds.
Do we get to see this?
Yeah, we bluffed and he folded.
No, I mean in the solver.
Sure. So Tura, everything you're saying is true. If I do this, I am unbalanced because I'm betting my value different than my bluff. I agree with that. And I don't get to be, I have to be balanced if they are going to read, if they're going to do a deep read of my hands based on it. But if they're not, which our players don't, they do some reading, but not that deep, we can be unbalanced.
Yeah,
be
it
more
depends on the
exploitative.
player you're facing.
Yeah.
It's probably not just only fish on these stakes.
No, not only fish, but not as studied as you are.
So I mean, you got things in your favor, this guy. Like I said, like earlier, like when as our range gets condensed after they bet flop, I mean, we end up with hands that are, yeah, you have to bluff some strong hands you might think can show down
Yeah.
in these spots. So I wouldn't be surprised if it goes for it, honestly.
Yeah. So Mike, tell us what you see.
What do you mean?
In other words, you're going to run the solver. So talk us
Yeah.
through the solve.
Yeah, so we saw these, everyone was kind of right on board with your options with ace king there in that position.
Yep.
Calling, four betting, or jamming.
Yep. And all equal. Wow.
Yeah, pretty much divided in frequency.
Yeah.
They did bet their ace king suited, ace king of spades. Probably the ace king of hearts is the one that just kind of, yeah, ace king of hearts just sort of says, hey, we're good. Now they check to us. No, they bet. Sorry, they beat 33. And our overpair calls every time.
Mhm.
I mean, our overcards.
Yep.
Regardless. Now it's probably not as, the EV is not as great versus population, who A, doesn't have the hands pre-flop that they're going to have here, and B, c-bet 100% of the time, maybe. But we call.
Yeah, it's still too good to fold for that price. Against that, because they got, you still can win. Got a gutter, king could be good, ace could be good.
8 of diamonds. They check their ace king, which probably is fine with the hearts. Our offsuit ace king. Small to 50, B33, B50 is the sizing.
And look at how it's looking ahead with that diamond. If you have the diamond, you bet. If you don't have the diamond, you can bet.
And now their ace king probably wants to fold. Yep, they want to fold there. They call. And we get the
4
four.
diamonds, I think.
They check. Let's see if our ace king wants to show down. So the diamonds want to go for it and the others don't.
Right.
So just change it to like a bricky club or something.
Let's give it the
See
four.
if they all go for it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't.
Now none of them go for it.
None of them go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in hindsight, I was not too crazy about it. However, they do have a lot of their ace kings left, which they did, obviously.
Mhm.
In solver, they don't.
Right.
Like, you don't see their ace kings anymore, even the offsuit variety. I'm talking about their range.
Yeah.
So like their range here, well, if we go back, if we put it in normal height, you'll see it pretty much disappears, right?
Yeah.
You know, they just don't have ace king anymore, which probably makes the bluff better because now we bluff off a chop.
They don't have anything. When you put it in range height. Normalized pushes it
Yeah,
up. I
they're
mean,
less, their entire range is less than one combo.
yeah, they don't get here this way.
Cause he was supposed to fold the turn.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess the turn they fold a raise.
Want to see anything else?
Nope. So the idea that you prefer the diamond makes total sense.
Mhm.
The solver says you require the diamond, and I think that you're betting all of them is okay.
Yeah, like of course you prefer the ace or king of diamonds. I was thinking in my head, but you know, you don't always have to be like blocker oriented, right?
Mhm.
Especially at low stakes, as some pros mentioned. But I don't mind the bluff because, as you mentioned, like they don't or shouldn't have any nines, and sometimes you have to bluff ace highs.
Right. Mike, it's yours.
Oh, okay. Well, what should happen is gets around to the sixes. It's actually not a full frequency raise from there, but it's probably about 50-50. See what they do. They limp. 10-9 could ISO here easily. They limp behind.
Mhm.
Fold, fold, and then queen five. We'll just check, I'm sure. All right, we flopped a little gutter on 3 Broadway board. Check. Everybody else here. Let's see. Sixes should check. They donk for a
Gotta see
dollar.
where he's at.
10-9. Tough spot in the sandwich. Bad end of the straight if he ever gets there.
Yeah.
If it were me, I wouldn't have limped behind probably. I'd have to be on the button to limp behind. This one's kind of tough. I don't know what to do with 10-9, but it's probably best to just fold it
In
to
the
a
sandwich.
multi-way.
Yeah.
We have the gutter to a limper. I mean, I know I call here, but do I raise? I don't ever raise. Yeah. We're not multi-way anymore, so maybe that's okay.
I would have folded.
Folded,
Oh,
yeah. That's better. It's
Give me, even if the 5 of clubs, give me some club, anything to hold on to. It's probably fine.
they check behind. I think that gives us license.
Oh,
Too bad we got that.
yeah. You can call for him.
Oh, they raised.
He
Ooh.
raises. You could have straights. I guess you know, because I don't know, whatever. You could have straights, flushes. I don't know. Man. These people.
I wonder if he showed you sixes, if you jammed what he would call with.
He probably would.
Yeah, probably. Somebody who limps and then takes this line probably would. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the flop there is, I think that's questionable for sure.
It's just because I got nothing invested and I just like, whatever, just take it, you know?
Yeah, I think the one other thing to note here is if this had been a single raised pot and you were there, you know, a check raise here, a check call, you know, because you have a draw is one thing. He bets into 2 people. Yeah, it's only 1 big blind. But you can't love it. If you hit your queen, you can't love it. And if you hit the king of clubs, you can't love it. You're probably ahead.
And we can see direct odds. I mean, we're getting the right,
Yeah.
you know, just seeing the cards exposed, you're
Yeah.
getting the right odds, but to a range that does this is probably,
You only gotta defend the square root of that. Which it go back, click it back to where before cutoff folds. So yeah, so it's 18%, you share that, so it's the square root of, what is it, Scotty? 2 or 3? You do the math, you don't
Square
have
root
to.
of the square root of the bet size, what is the square root of the MDF,
So he's
right?
got, yeah, it's 18%, but he's only gotta discover the square root, I forget how to do the math, but it's not. You defend less, you need more equity than 18% here, basically, is what I'm saying.
and is that if you're assuming 10-9 comes along?
No, it's the very
No, cause
fact
he
that
bets into 2 people, so right away, your equity is shared, you're sharing your equity. The equity need to call is shared between you and the cutoff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, you need more equity than, it says 18% here, but you need more than that.
if it, and the number you're looking for is if we calculated the MDF of a 1 big blind bet into 3.5 big blinds, we're gonna get a lot, we're gonna get a number that is in sort of 75%. Just pure MDF, but that 75% is not all ours. It's shared between the two of us, and we don't have to defend an ace high board at MDF, and we do not have to defend a board that already has a straight on it to MDF. We don't have to achieve MDF. We're not going to.
Mm.
This is, I mean, this is, and we can also expect he is.
Oh, you don't even beat all his bluffs. So if he's bluffing any king X here, any queen X here, like you lose, you're even losing the bluffs at this point as well. Some bluffs.
This heads up. Should we skip that one?
Sure. I'm next. Okay. This should fold around to the king, queen suited, which should open. And now that this 2 is here, king, queen suited should 3-bet to 6. The queens should 4-bet to 20, and the 6, 7, of course, should fold. The 9s should fold. And king, queen suited should consider folding.
I would.
Yeah.
Uh,
Should be a fold.
yeah.
I'm
And
curious. I'm curious why I continue here.
is it a pure fold in solver land?
To this size, probably.
Yeah, that's a bigger.
I don't think solver's gonna make it this size 4-bet.
That's right. That's too big a 4-bet. Yeah, just fold.
Which he's supposed to go to, like 17?
Yeah. 2.3,
Yeah,
12.
probably like 15.
There's, oh yeah, here we go. If you want to get the number exact, change.
Yeah, stand
The
by.
squeezes are even smaller, right?
There you go.
Where were we? We were 1, 2, 3.
Cut off.
Jack.
We're hijack. He's
Yeah,
under
he's
low jack
low
minus
jack
one.
+1 here.
He raises. There's our king, queen suited. He goes to 14.
Yeah, queen suit is pure fold.
Yeah,
Even
even to
suited.
14. Even to 14, yeah. So we can just fold everything.
Only 10 hands. Should be no reason to think that we're going to be able to do anything based on players. So that's a bad call.
And I'm assuming you made the bad call because you looked at king, queen suited and said, this is probably a call when it's suited.
Yeah, probably
You've
thought
already
that it
made
might be.
Because I didn't know that range instantly.
Yep.
Yeah.
This goes back to October. I should know that though.
Yep, now you do.
Especially to that size. That size is pretty egregious. Okay, who had this? Where are we at? Scotty, do you want to, since this is
No,
another
this is your hand. You did this shit. Is this me? Oh, this is me. This is me. Okay. You should absolutely fold here, and you might be thinking this misses his hand so much, but hits my hand, so you might be getting yourself into a leveling war on this. But if you're going to get into that leveling war, which I advise you not to do, because there's just so much more money to be made in without leveling wars, just by being better than people with better hands. But if you're going to get into this leveling war, you should only do it with the king, queen of clubs, spades, and diamonds.
Yep.
I mean, just don't play this game.
I'll just,
All
say,
right.
I think I need both. I think I need like a 4 flush to continue. I don't even know if I've peeled backdoor.
No, I don't think you need to play any leveling war game here, but if you're going to go that wide, because I can have this, but he can't, and those things, at least have a backup, a runner, flush to go with your runner straight that is coming in.
So we're spewing.
We're spewing. We check here, and luckily there is a check behind. We like that. All right. So there is a four-liner here that he cannot have, that we can have.
We don't have no eights.
Sure we do. We have 8-9 suited.
Do we?
We're
Well,
gonna present it, so we better have it.
Yeah, this whole hand is a spew. We shouldn't be really probably looking at it too much, spend too much time. I know we spew, and I think it works out. Yeah, it does.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Whoa.
I
Yep.
would never fold that. Like, I don't see how we have eight at eight in a cold four bet. We defend eight. We defend 9-8 or 8-7, Scotty.
No,
Cold
not
bet?
not in GTO,
Nah.
but
GTO, we could be here with some overpairs, but not aces and kings. We
We
might
can
have.
we certainly have 7s, 6s, and 10s. By the way,
Not in a
yeah.
high frequency.
Sets, right?
oh yeah, you're right. This is a 4-bet, not a 3-bet. Let's look at what our calling. Let's just look at what our calling range to that 4-bet is real quick.
So here's all those underpairs. If you had,
If you 3-bet them, you don't fold them. So they're 100% represented, and the 8-7
7.
at low frequency.
right at low frequency. But compared to the whole calling range, look at what I mean. Hit the call there. Just look at the call. And now add all your combos together. You've got queen,
22.
you know, you've got 6 combos of queen, and a ton, it's low frequency, but add them all together. And we've got stuff here.
But
be-
Right, but he has queen, so he's thinking you got like sets and maybe an 8. Like I would never put anybody on an 8. I'm just
and we got Jack,
can
which
I
would be-
add something
you're not
else?
folding, but he's not happy.
he's not supposed to fold either, right? Like
If
Oh, I don't know. Let's
No, I
there's no
should fold.
way.
Also, if you're saying they're not like 3-betting Jack 9 suited and stuff from the big blind, his cold 4-betting range is
Yeah.
basically queens plus.
Yeah, it's the bottom.
Uh,
Queen's and ace king.
Should call 8, 7s, 9s. I think you should fold much more than this chart suggests.
Okay.
Did he bet the turn? No,
Yep.
he checked.
No, check. That's what gave you the license.
Yeah. Ace queen when we have it, checks behind,
Yeah, he does some checking.
and it was the 3 of hearts.
Mm-hmm. And now we come out and we do some bluffs. They are not jams.
Yeah.
We got some jams.
5-4 jams. Okay.
Our stacked pot ratio is off, obviously.
8-7 jams a little bit too.
Right.
For it's
I
worth.
mean,
Alright.
it's a pot size jam as opposed to a B186.
Yeah. So let's go pot and see what he does with his queens.
Yeah, there is no pot.
We'll see. Let's look at
We'll
both.
just go all in. If he calls all in, he's calling pot.
The queens are indifferent.
He's different
surprisingly.
already.
All right. Now go bigger.
Go bigger, they'll disappear.
Yeah. So there you go. Yep.
Yeah,
Like
I'm not.
stacks more than it does queens.
Yep. Good thing Ken wasn't in the hand.
Yeah, that was spew. The whole
I would
pre
probably call it ace 10. Cause I'll have like ace 10 in my range. Ace 10 suited or something, right? I ain't fucking fold.
I don't consider the river spew.
Well, we should have never gotten there.
No, we shouldn't have been there. So much of the hand was spew. The 3-bet. So you did how many actions? You did 1, 2. No, I think you were half spew, half good.
The important parts of the hands were spew.
There you go. The valuable parts of the hand were good. Tura, it's you.
Ace 5 off on the cutoff can either raise or fold. Ace king should raise. Jack queen is probably mostly fold,
Is it ever
but
three
you can
bet?
three bet sometimes, I guess.
Yeah, that one's definitely in there.
Ace king is, I think, mostly gonna four bet.
Yeah, on the button to a small blind, there's not gonna be any calling there.
Yeah, this seems pure four bet and jam.
Well,
Okay.
in my charts, it's a call as well. So,
That's
um,
the tournaments we call a lot here. So you're saying it's mostly four bet or fold in cash?
Yeah, in this loose
Well-
configuration.
No folds, four bet and jam, no folds.
Oh, we do have some calls, okay. I mean, in the range, I thought the range was either four bet or,
Oh, the range, okay.
I thought you guys said it was either raise or fold, the range.
No, we
Oh,
were
no,
talking.
no,
oh,
ace
sorry.
king specifically.
Okay.
All right, Tura.
now queen jack, I would probably bet, and I would bet small.
That's a B50.
Ace king with an ace of spades, I would call. I wouldn't raise. Now on the turn with the queen jack, with the queen of spades, I would check. It can go either way, but I would check jack
Yeah,
queen.
I might blast off having a spade. This feels bad, but I might have did it.
And I would call.
Now,
And now I don't think we have any fold equity for this small size. I would give up.
yeah, I'd give up too. Go a
Yeah.
little smaller on the turn.
Probably, just so you know, Mike would also give up.
You're blocking his folds on the river.
I need a spade to bluff river.
No, you don't want a spade to bluff river.
Why
Yeah.
not? Why not?
Because we're blocking his
You
folds.
wanted him to have spades?
I mean, you don't, it's probably not a good river bluff, given that we only have a half pot bet left. But the one thing, when you look here, is the one thing that will save you is if he has ace queen of spades, if he has ace 10 of spades, you can get that to fold on the river. The only draws here are the straight draws at the bottom. So that's going to be ace deuce, ace 5, 5, 6, 6, 7. And is there any chance that the six folds for the half pot bet? Probably.
What was our sizing on the turn?
Big. So he probably folded. He might have folded that by now.
Yeah,
We condensed him to his best draws on the turn and his made hands, and his best draws are spades. And
Yeah.
the queen is not just a spade, it's also a significant spade. You know, if you know what I mean? It's not a 5 of spades that we're blocking. It's not an 8 of spades. It's one of the spades that he would stay in with.
Yeah, I think
What size do you bet here?
What'd you say?
What size do you like here, Scotty?
Oh, not on the river?
Half
Zero.
pot.
On a
I like
turn.
check lose.
On
Come on,
turn
you-
half pot, this might be better.
Our betting range, what size do you think it likes?
Oh, on the river?
No,
Or on the
on the turn.
on the turn.
I think half pot.
Half pot? Yeah, seems good, right?
I think we probably have 75s with like our kings. I mean, we three bet. So we have, yeah, I think we're gonna have 75s and even some over bets with our ace king. And king queen. So 50 on the flop.
It's
looks good.
yeah. Because of the SPR, I think we have smaller bets.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of how he set up how's the solver set up the river.
lots of 50s,
Yeah.
lots of,
The
it's just
range
50s.
likes-
Just simplified, it's all 50.
Gives you a better, give you a better jam on the river, like you started this earlier.
Because we bet half pot on the flop. If we bet smaller, then we would probably go 75.
So we can go when it's 100 big blinds deep, we can go, well, what's a 3-bet pot? So when we 3-bet at 100, 50, 50, 50 is geometric.
Yeah, although it'll end up being like 50, 50, 30, 35 or 40 because we don't have 50 left, but
And Turo, you were right
it's still
on.
close to geometric, yeah.
Turo was right. We make a smaller bet on the flop, then the turn size can be bigger. Whereas we made the B50 and now our turn size shrinks a little. But we went B75, didn't we? And our hand doesn't like it at all.
Yeah, we just give up, right? Don't we give up?
On the turn, it says yes, it says to give up.
Yeah, we had to pick up equity.
What was the river? So we're all in with some of this stuff, but we don't get there with our queen jack.
Yeah. The queen jack suited that goes for it, that does get here. Let's look at that one. It's gotta be you've gotta unblock the spades.
Right.
That was the thing we were talking about.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah.
If you happen to have it, you should blast, but I mean, you shouldn't be here with it.
Yeah.
That's solver noise probably.
Yeah, well, I mean, make it full height and maybe maybe the solver noise will at least include the logic we expect here. Well, it doesn't, even with this, it doesn't give us the queen of spades to have it, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. More spew from Hero.
All right, Dean.
Yep. Let's see. King 10 raise.
And we saw that was a mixable sort of raise from that position. Bad call by hijack, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's no calls from the hijack, right?
Nope, and if there were, this hand wouldn't be in it.
Yeah, I would rather have suited too.
By the way, that's one of the really nice things about peak as a tool, because peak is done without the rake. It has all those calls in the field, so we can analyze hands with calls in the field now that we couldn't with GTO Wizard. So that's really good.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Does anybody play without rake though?
Derek plays without rake. He's not here today. He
Oh,
plays a
nice.
timed game. But what I mean is that the peak GTO tool, because its cash game side is set up without rake, it has field calls. And because even though we're in rake and we have field calls, we can never analyze them.
Gotcha.
In GTO Wizard, now we can analyze them more effectively. So that's good.
Larry, you play without rake, right?
Yeah, he
Sure.
does. He's in Texas, but he's
Okay.
not here right now, I guess.
Okay.
And I would probably check. I don't know, it's not range bet, you know? We don't fold out anything better.
And we do a lot of check ranging out of position. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
We see these
And
ace
Jack
low
Queen.
low boards being checked a lot as well. Out of it,
Check. Oh no. Man, here is out of. I mean, just no reason to start betting. We're not gonna fold out anything good.
there is.
what about all the pocket pairs?
Ah, yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess if they're flatting like fives or something, we can start putting pressure on them. Not horrible, yeah. I don't hate it
But you would
actually.
check.
Yeah, I'd probably check. Yeah, gotta call. Hmm. I don't even know now.
Yeah.
Hmm. I mean, if we want to still put pressure on like lower pocket pair. The eight's kind of sucky because pocket eights. But other than that, I don't know really. Snap call.
Yep.
So this hand is good to talk about on one thing on that is on the flop, which is this is a hand where the thing we talked about is GTO checks a lot out of position, but this is a hand where you go, what if I just bet, I just get to win the hand? Why don't I do that more? And in this case, sure, it would have worked out that way, but if you can get that bluff through on the river, it's a lot more money. The one thing I think is, I think your bet was way too small because you were targeting with a bet of that size, other unmade hands, and the only unmade hand that beats you was the king queen. So
He didn't bet the flop though.
your bet size was very good against king queen. You need to get a pair to fold with your bet, and I don't think your half pot does that often enough there.
Yeah.
Yeah, overbet should be the sizing
Yeah, I think
probably.
you need to overbet. And I think that this is worth looking at the solve for.
Also,
On peak.
also, if when you check range, what you wanna accomplish with an overbet on the turn is that you get the value that you missed on the flop by
Yeah.
checking range. You wanna
Right.
get that back, and
Right.
you
And-
wanna be polarized.
Yep. And that's what he did with a 75% bet. It might have had to be bigger than that, but that's what his bet was designed to do.
No,
That's
it
why he
should
bet
be
75 and didn't bet 33, but on the river, he's got to oomph it. So let's see what the solver says here.
yeah. I think it should overbet.
We
Okay.
might get the warning here. This is pretty low frequency,
Okay. What's the size? What is the size when we bet
small.
our king 10? This is on the turn. Okay, so we were both wrong, Tura. It doesn't, in this particular case, it doesn't do the catch up.
What does it do?
It bets all small. Small with value, small with bluffs. It bets 25% mostly. I'm sorry, it bets, no, I'm wrong. I read this,
B33.
no, yeah. Where's all the 73? Hold on. No, it's 2.15. That's 33.
Yeah. B33.
Yeah, B30. I thought you said B70. Yeah. Yeah, it's all small.
Weird.
Don't have a club.
Don't have a club, so you unblock, so that's good. You want him to have clubs when you make this bluff. And the bluff size is,
From B50 up to B125.
okay. And click on any one of them, just so we can see. Or click on your exact combo, whichever it was, and now let's see the ratio.
Spade club.
Yeah. Oh, spade club? We don't want a club. But when you bet it with spade club, the size you did it was red, which is that right? Click on the king 10 of spade club. It's one of the ones you don't want to do, but when you do it, you go 150, right?
Yep.
That makes sense. Okay. That makes sense. And now the one you do the most when you do spade heart, that's the one you always bluff. And you do have a little bit of half pot there. Okay, so your half pot wasn't crazy.
Was it half pot?
Yeah, something like that.
P
That was half. It was a little more than half.
66.
P66. Okay. All right, next, that was, I believe that was Dean who did that one. And then we all interrupted him. And by we all, I mean me. So it's Ken. Kenneth Keppel, are you there? 2, 3, 4?
Oh, yeah, I was muted. So Jack's open. Queen, Jack could probably 3-bet. And what do I do with this? I just call here.
Yep.
So like I have never, I don't really know how to play these spots. Like I would see bet if I was small blind, probably just go like 8.
Yep. I think this flop is pretty bad for us.
Really bad flop.
Yeah.
If you're jacks,
Do we check?
yeah, small blind check. Yep.
So like I don't know how they're supposed to play their range. I think in real life they're never checking anything good, so I'm gonna bet for sure. We have a diamond, which is nice. We got straight redraw. Um,
Yeah,
we
I'll
got-
tell you, I know that if this flop came out and I had aces, kings, queens, I would be checking. I'd be checking range basically.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that's what it's supposed to do.
They do check though, and I'm with you. I think you can probably bet at a pretty high frequency there.
And so did we bet? What's it, turn now? And we
Yeah,
Jack's check back?
check, check. Yep.
I mean, I kind of capped myself a lot. Well, we have overpairs, you say, right? So I'm checking. Hey, just give this fucking hand up.
Would you call? Would you sit here with jacks and just call?
Yeah. Um, do we have to fucking bluff now?
Yes.
I'm lost. I mean, I gave up this hand on the turn, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kind of out actually.
I chose blocker sizing for some reason.
I mean, full king high, whatever they have, king highs they have, I guess.
What the heck?
I think this bluff needs to be much bigger.
I mean, if he folds jack here, it's a
Oh my God.
fantastic bet size. If he folds,
Holy
jack.
shit.
I mean, that just shows you like how scared people can be of like an ace. Like
For
How's that?
17.
small bets can be really effective.
Oh my
Bluffs.
gosh.
It's all about what you're targeting. Like if you, like I don't know if I would ever expect the jack to fold there. So I don't know if figures any better.
The jacks do mix their four betting and calling. Oops, sorry, call. And we get that 8, 7 of diamonds, 6 of spades. Let's see if this is a range or if there's some big bets or checks, right? Big
Mhm.
bets or checks. Our particular hand likes to check.
Yep.
So it's not range, but we're checking 75% of the time.
That's pretty high for a 3-bet board, for a 3-bet pot.
Jacks here, we kind of figured they can bet, they can check, but mostly bet against population probably.
Mhm.
And would we use B33 there?
No, he checks.
I know. Oh, that's right. But what about when we do bet it, like
Oh, this,
in real life?
oh, in real life, you mean, what do we do with our hand? We fold. We fold the queen jack if he bets.
No, the jacks. Like, do we choose a small size when we bet at a higher frequency than solver?
Oh, yeah, if I bet there, if I bet jacks, I wouldn't bet him big.
So we went check. We had the queen jack of hearts.
Mhm.
So when it bets, it likes a big bet, but mostly check in there. I think we went B75. No, we went. What did we do? Yeah, B75.
Mhm.
Jacks are going to call, of course.
And did it like, how big did it like? Did it like 2x pot? Was
No,
that,
would be 150 and yeah, some bigger.
yeah, what was its sizes? 125
175s.
and 175. Oof. Okay.
Jack's call. They were already getting a little indifferent, surprisingly.
Yeah.
But that's to, somebody, I guess, solver ranges, which
Mhm.
ace of hearts. Yeah, queen jack, just give up. But there's a lot of block betting.
So you bet basically 35%
Yeah.
for this. Okay.
And I doubt
You-
jacks are supposed to, well, they're indifferent, but
Yeah. All right. Next is Larry. Okay, after Larry is JD. After JD is Mike, but we're going to pause here and make one change to the filter, Mike.
okay.
So far, we've only seen your bluffs because we left it on filter on hero. We didn't make
Yeah.
that change. So let's go back to the database and just do this. And let's take a look at some of their bluffs too. All right. So leave everything the same and just go to filters up top, not more filters. That one, click on that. Click on add new expression filter. Click off filter on active player. And you got it.
What are we looking at now?
Now we're just same filter. We're looking at bluffs, but up till now we've only looked at Mike's bluffs. Now we're going to look at everyone's bluffs, Mike's and everyone's included.
So now we'll get to see what population is doing on the river.
Yeah.
Oop, I have
I'm gonna guess that it's severely under bluffed.
Yep, that's what we're going to see. And basically, if we come on one, we're going to look for hands that Mike's not in. If Mike's in the hand, we'll buzz through it.
All righty.
All right. Make big. More big.
Bigger.
Bigger, bigger. You can just hit the box next to the X and it will make it.
Yeah, but then I get, there's some Zoom stuff in here that's going to block what I do.
Okay, fine. All right. I know what you mean. Yeah, we block you. Okay, great. This is a good one. Mike's not in this hand. All right. Mike, JD said skip. We skipped JD this time, and Larry isn't back yet. Larry 2, 3, 4. All right, Mike, it's you.
All right, ace six is too early. This should actually get around to the small blind here, and they can raise that ace four. Let's see what happens. It does get all the way around, and they limp, open limp, 9 deuce. I mean, go ahead and check your option or raise. Probably doesn't matter, but I would check if it were me.
Mhm.
Ace four with a club after you've limped. I mean, I'm going to be lost because I would never limp here. But this flop after I limp, I have the ace of clubs and a four. I would just bet here. I would just bet.
Yeah,
They check, which is fine, out of position. 9 deuce. Once we start getting this, I mean, you can either bet or check again. The queen. I mean, at this point now, I think ace four, you got showdown already. You still have showdown. I think you could go either way. They decide to check. Now they're really capped. Does the 9 deuce just want to start getting in there? Sure. And go B75 or whatever. They checks to the river. I take my ace and just probably check and call depending on what we get. I might call here. They fold.
nice. All right. Tura, you're next.
Fold around to the small blind, raise and a fold. Limp check. Out. If I don't know, if I limped out, probably bet range 50.
Yeah.
If I'm on a big blind, I would bet 50. Now that it goes check, check.
Bluff now. Bluff now. Don't wait till the river. Bluff now.
Not
With your
low,
ace
he's never, not low, he's never gonna bluff.
I know he's not, but he should.
Yeah, I know, so I'm saying.
Start to bluff. 2-street bluff.
Check, check. Check. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Dean,
Skip
you're up.
ahead.
Yeah.
Twos. Only has 29 big blinds. My simp. We've seen these guys. But twos will be will open. 10-8.
I would expect him to limp, not open. Let's see what he does. I play with these people all the time.
Luck you.
Yep. Come on, sevens. You can do it. Crazy daisy.
Yes. The only thing worse.
Oh man, it's like we need 22 big blinds. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say the only thing worse than the twos limping was the twos calling the set raise to 7. And it's, on a short stack, that's just really bad short stack play. There is a strategy to play well in the short stack. You actually have that is an advantageous strategy. It's just that it doesn't make as much money as the other strategy because you don't get to make as much money from other people's mistakes. But if the best player in the world, the best short stack player in the world has an advantage against all the best deep stack players in the world at a table, but nobody who plays a short stack is playing that strategy.
Yeah, but even if he doubles up once, he's gonna have to play deep stack anyways or whatever,
Yeah, then you leave. But but what I'll tell you is that short stack strategy does not include limping deuces, and it does not include calling a raise to 7x.
Yeah.
But I interrupted you.
And sevens back. Oof.
I should have just jammed them, right? Instead of limp jam,
You mean the deuces?
yeah. I mean, if you're gonna
I
limp
don't
on these
hate it,
bigs, you might
yeah,
as well
right.
just jam. You got 20, you got 30 bigs, I mean,
I think you limp
But-
fold them if you were playing this, but I don't think you should limp, you shouldn't limp them. is the-
I'm not too sure about limp strategies, so it's hard
Yeah,
to,
I wouldn't limp. them
you
either.
know.
If
The
I
best
did
limp-
limp and someone raised me, I would just ship 30. I mean, I'm not gonna do
Okay.
nothing with that.
Okay,
But it's a coin flip. I mean, you're gonna be in a coin flip most of the time, right?
no, but here's the problem, Ken. You're gonna be, you're gonna be a coin flip at best. The only thing that you're ahead
Right.
of ace deuce, right? Everything else you're coin flipping at best. And against all his pairs, which is not the major part of his range, but it's there, you are a doggy dog. So
Yeah,
the, the value of playing deuces is their, and seeing a flop is their implied odds. And he's just taken away your implied odds by raising you to 7.
right.
You should fold, but in reality, what you should do is you should raise. I don't know the strategy by hand, but I would suspect that with deuces, you just fold them. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't open. I mean, 30.
Okay, so anyway, he does that, and he calls. And then what would you like to do, Tura?
That was me.
Oh, it's Dean. Sorry, Dean. What would you like to do?
It's 22 big blinds too. Bet like it's little,
Give me a number.
but just check.
Oh, Mike's back. Mike's clicking it.
Well, yeah, here, go ahead, Scotty. I'll be right back.
Okay, no problem.
Apparently pocket twos is gonna try to check
Oh,
it.
it's Mike. It's not worried. There we go. Controlling Mike's screen. Let's get it to control Mike's screen here.
Yeah, if I'm pocket twos, I'm trying to bluff this because if he's checking, then he has an underpair probably like this,
Yeah,
and you can start putting pressure on him with the twos.
Okay, use my
Sevens,
key.
I would have, because it's a 22 big blind stack. If it was a full huge stack, I would check though with the sevens.
Yeah,
But like with the 22 big blinds, even I want to get money with my ace with everything. Can get it in.
yep. I'm supposed to control Mike's screen, but it's not letting me. Let me just see if
Oh,
there's.
okay. I'm still here. I'm still
Yeah,
here.
sorry. It said it, but it didn't let me do it. Okay, so let's see what the sevens do.
Check. And twos a check back, I thought I saw. Which is crazy. If I'm twos, I'm definitely starting to bluff.
So he went check. So we're going check. Yeah, Mike's controlling it again.
I mean, I don't see why you'd start.
Feels like-
Maybe.
Oh, click to start. There we go. Click. Now let's see if it'll let me do it now. It's still not letting me do it, Mike. One more
Ace
time.
nine.
Give it to me one more time, Mike. And let me see if I can hit a button.
You're moving it. You're moving your mouse.
I am, but when I click on it, it won't let me click anything.
Oh.
I'm moving my mouse, but
Try now.
okay. No luck.
No, okay.
Sorry, you don't get to pee.
Mm.
All right, so click away, Mike.
Okay. Stand by. All right.
I mean, there's no reason for sevens to try to bluff. Like what? 10x or something? I don't know. So check. I mean, two should have started bluffing like a while ago, but you can't think you're good here at all.
No.
8, 9, hope,
Well, he goes for it.
Yeah,
I like it.
finally.
Well,
Not a
What is he
horrible
trying to
size.
get to- Who is he trying to get to fold here? I guess he's trying to get to fold pairs smaller than 10s
5, 6.
and a weird 5 or a weird 4 that, why would they be there? Because other than that, he has everything
Mhm.
beat.
Yep.
Let's see if it works.
Hoping the 10x folds. He
It
did.
worked.
Nice.
All right. Ken, you're up.
Let's guess folds to ace queen.
King 3 doesn't.
What size do we raise in a small blind? 4x, I guess.
By the way, King, just so you know, Ken, King 3 and the cutoff is a really good raise in
Is it?
cash. Yeah, I don't know if it is in tournaments. It's a really good raise in cash.
No, it's a raise in
Like
the
the bottom.
tournament.
It's the
It's a
absolute,
raise. Right at
Yeah.
the bottom.
it's the bottom, but it's a good one. All right. Oh,
Trappy, trappy.
Weaky.
Now he's gonna make it. I mean, out of position, yeah, okay, so whatever. I mean, I'm just gonna, if I limped, I'm racing that all day long.
You should. You limp that in order to raise. You don't limp that to get to see a flop.
Now, Ken, would you raise queen nine here to a limp?
Oh, I mercifully attack limpers.
Okay, so let's play this as the queen nine. You don't have to worry about villain 664 here. So they check to you.
This hand I could do either. I could check or bet. I really would like to have a spade. I'm in position. So sure, I'm gonna bet small.
They go B50, get called.
I'm gonna
Break.
check back and realize. Try to hit the magical 9 queen or 10.
I like a
The
bet there
fireworks.
personally. I like a big bet there.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
continue my bluff,
Overbet.
especially without a spade. I'm gonna continue my bluff.
And if you continue with your bluff, what would you do on the river on an ace?
3-barrel.
Yeah, lose.
I would lose, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I checked
Yeah.
turn with a bet now, but you guys bet, he played bet, so, like, I got queen high, I'm gonna lose, he's gonna call an ace, he's gonna call a king. Blind versus blind, he might call a jack, I got queen high, beats everything, it's worse, so.
So you're gonna, right, so you're gonna give up and hope to beat his spade draws. And just lose to the freak,
Any pair he's got.
deuce of spades. When he happens to have 10 deuce of spades, you just go, ah, fuck.
Nah.
Yeah, okay. I like the fact that I really like the fact that you saw that the queen nine actually had showdown.
Yeah, I mean, and plus with they limp, we raise, they call, what are they calling with? They're calling with broadways, right?
Calling with
And
a flop,
pairs.
yeah.
So there's 2 broadways on the flop. I took a shot on the flop. They call, so I condensed their range even further. They probably folded some under pairs. They're gonna have a lot of jack X, a lot of 10X, a lot of spades, stuff to wrap around the jack, the king and the jack, which we kind of block with the king and the queen and the 9. So like, I really hate my hand on the turn, honestly. I'm done.
Right. And then on the river, you really hate it.
Well, I'm gonna check turn and then the river, if they check, I'm going for it.
Oh, you are gonna go for it. You're not gonna, you're
Well,
not,
if I would have played bet, they call, I would have played check, they went check, I would have checked back, turn, and then on the river, if they check, yeah, I'm going for it.
This one, it's unusual because the ace queen obviously is never going to do what they did here.
Right.
However, well, I'm sure our queen nine gets to raise a lot. Yeah, they do. I mean, not a lot, but certainly viable. Ace queen off would never call, but we'll just play as big blind. And we got the king 4 spades, jack of hearts. So we have the gut shot. They're gonna check like they did. Our gutter, no spade. So likes to bet large. Prefers a spade, obviously, but still likes to go for it. What did they do? They went beef. Remember?
they went B50, I think.
Yeah, they did. They went B50. They called. We picked up, or bricked, I mean, 2 of clubs. They check, range. Lots of polarizing, no small bets. Queen 9 likes to polarize, especially with the spade. Kept you like to having the spade to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
The-
she could just simplify and bet spades and check everything else, honestly, I think it's probably
That's-
safe.
Yeah,
That seems
yep,
good.
for sure. What did they do?
Especially when their range is gonna be tighter than
They
reality.
bet. Didn't they?
Yeah, but what size was it?
Oh, I don't remember.
Pot.
No, this is
Pot is on the river.
on the
Oh,
river.
yep, sorry, you're right. They checked, okay.
Okay.
So good, let's see how a check line works here. Ace of hearts, right? Was it ace of hearts?
Mhm.
Ace of diamonds.
to them.
They check. We like to go for it. Well, yeah, 50-50, mix it.
And again, this is weird here, that when we get here on this line, we still want, we want the 9 of spades more than not having it. And that seems weird to me. I would think we would want spades. But we don't want the,
Honestly, I'm just playing the player, like, I'm trying to think how people play, and that's kind of how I played this spot.
Right.
Blind versus
Yeah,
blinds.
yeah, more exploitable in theory, yeah, for sure.
and when we did go for it, what size did we go for?
75%.
D75.
All right,
Oh, I
Larry,
would
you're
have went
back.
bigger in real life.
Larry, if you're back, it's you. And if not, JD, if you're back, it's you. And if not, it's Mike.
All right, deuce is too early. Ace jack suited should open. By the way, the 5s can open here as well. It's low frequency on the charts. I personally would not open it.
We see a lot of people limping their 5s there.
So, let me ask you something about the 5s. Why wouldn't you open them?
Very low frequency for me. I do occasionally, depending on the players behind me. If they're pretty tight in the big blinds, buttons tight, or there's not a bunch of crazy action behind me, I'll fold it. Won't even play it.
So, I think it's really good though. Like, I think when people are generally passive and don't 3-bet enough, you can get away with opening those hands. a lot
Yeah, and
more,
that's
right?
where I will open it when that situation is present.
You just have to be cognizant of this. I mean, it sucks set over set. You do a reverse implied odds this deep, but like I take my chances. I'll open all my pairs. The cash games I'm in, I'm playing one now. I play on clubs. It's so fucking soft. I'll open 2s under the gun. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
They just all call.
Right, so you're opening, did I hear you're opening deuces under the gun in a 9-handed game or deuces?
No, low jack, 6-handed.
Deuces low
Low
jack.
jack, yeah.
Ace jack
As
should
long
open.
as you're not getting 3-bet, you can, and it turns
They
out,
never 3-bet. They 3-bet when they
Yeah.
have nuts.
if if they're folding, if your blinds are folding to you all the time, then it's easy to do it. But even if they're not, you can still play it. You don't have to take it down with deuces to make a profit with them pre-flop. You just have to never get 3-bet off your equity so that you always flop a set so you're always there to set mine at least.
Yeah, you have a chance to hit a set way more often in the soft games.
Yeah, exactly. If you get,
And you can still win post flop. Like I know how to
Yeah.
bluff. I know how to play low pairs, like it's bluffs and shit. So
exactly. So yeah, you can do that. You can make that change easily.
Ace jack should definitely open. King queen is a 3-bet here. If it were me, it would be pretty much pure. They
Okay. Call. Yep.
fold, and we go to a flop. If I'm ace jack, I have check range. They will probably bet. I'm guessing they check. King queen, if they get checked to on this flop, I am betting small at a very high frequency. They check. If I get this ace now that they've checked in position and I'm out of position with this ace, you could probably go either way. Versus population, I'm going to bet. Versus good players, I'm going to check. They go B75. It's probably good against most people. And they should fold their king queen. They
They should
don't.
fold.
What the heck?
And that's a rough one for the ace jack. There's so many sets, 2 pairs. This feels like check fold for ace jack. They check.
Any block
get a
nuts
beat.
ever?
You get a B50.
jack's really nice here. To
Yeah. To
you
this
block
size.
straights.
To this size, I would probably call.
Yep. And lose most of the time and be comfortable losing most of the time.
I don't think you can fall to a pot size bet.
You just
Yeah.
just pay.
Yep, this one's easy.
If it were pot size, I would definitely consider folding.
Yeah, I mean, ace jack and ace ten block the nut straights at least, so I mean, it makes them a little more attractive. I actually like it better than ace king.
Well, ace ten is the straight. So ace
All
10,
right, so
ace
ace
10,
jack blocks
right.
the nuts.
Yeah, ace jack blocks the nut.
So
yeah.
like ace king, I'd rather fold, I'd rather have like ace jack than ace king, honestly.
Yep. And we have to get comfortable with when you call there and you go, yeah, most of the time I lose, you still profit even if you lose most of the time. What to a half pot bet.
Yeah, I mean, 75% of the time you're gonna lose.
Yep. If you're winning 1 out of 4, you're breaking even. So if you're winning 1 out of 3.9, you're making a profit. All right. Next is me. Ace jack can mix opens in this position. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see him limp. Let's start with that. Okay, he folds. Good.
Wow.
Queen 10 should open in this position to 2.5. Oh, it goes 3.5, extra big. Everybody should fold to this. No one should play against this. That 10 jack is suicide, and it's 3.5 big blinds of suicide instead of the usual amount of suicide. But having done it, Queen 10 should check range. 10 jack,
White check range.
white check range.
Yeah.
You could do this nice simplification, which is if you are out of position and you on almost all flops check range, you have an aggressive check raising strategy with your best hands and your good high equity bluffs and a few low equity bluffs, you'll be very hard to play against and you will make more money than if you bet out.
And this is a great example. We check and look what he does with this garbage. Like he just puts a half pot bet out there and you just take it.
Yep. Now,
Because if you see bet, he folds, but now he's just gonna say, okay, well, he checks, because they hit the flop, they never check. So
Right.
when we check, they think we don't have nothing every time. And
right
they stab.
now, if we're going to play this where we check fold this, then this is a losing strategy. And we should probably do better off with a simpler strategy and do a lot of betting where we look at this and go, well, we've got 2 back doors, got 2 overs to the 9, let's bet it. And maybe he doesn't have an ace, and then we would win. That's another strategy, and it's a profitable one, and it's the one that I played before I met any of you guys. And then I started playing the strategy I learned from you guys, and I made less money. But now I'm a little better at that strategy, and I think I make more than I did before. I don't know. We'll see. But he should check against a half pot bet. Against a third pot bet, he should consider check raising with his world of backdoors. But against a half pot bet, I don't think he should check raise, and I don't think he can fold yet. So I think he should call.
Really, I would.
I would check raise anyway.
You check raise anyway against the half pot? Okay, good for you. Let's see what he does.
I would not continue here.
Okay. Now I would check fold. But when I check and it goes check, check, which it does, it's time to bluff. And the bluff is going to be bigger than that. My bluff's going to be at least 12 and probably 16, just like here. Good. And that,
How you pull that works.
let me give this to you. There you go. No problem. Sorry about that, you guys. Come back. So there's this bluff. I like it. And that's an example of you don't get to do that if you bet out. So that's where that's where the value of checking range comes. And you guys were going to check raise the flop, which by the way was
I was not going to check raise this flop. I was going to
No.
check fold this flop. Is that everyone else is against check folding here?
Yeah.
It's for me, I hate to say it, but it's always comes down to player dependent for me. Some people never ever bluff, like I have tags too, like some people just never ever put chips in the pot.
Mhm.
Without a hand, and other people will stab every time you check to them. So like you gotta have good notes on people, but you're on a Iggy, right? So
on Iggy, and so we can't get notes, but we do get population tendencies. And Mark Goons believes that people that in this node, they overbet. They bet too often. They don't protect their check back range. And so you can, out of position here, with almost anything, you can call and see what they do on the turn.
Okay, I like it.
You can float them even out of position. And this is a lot of anything, you know,
I hate the fold, so I do, I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
A
We
world
like
of
block his ace 10 or something. Like, what is he trying to say that he has, really, you know?
oh, he's just saying he has an ace. He's just saying I have an ace and you don't, that you never check an
That
ace.
he flatted from the cutoff.
Yeah, you just never check an ace out of position, which is also why you make a lot of money when you have the ace here and you don't bet it and you check it. Because they do this. Which you would have never captured that money. So
Or if you have this,
sure,
yeah,
yeah. Now, was I influenced at all by seeing his cards? Sure, I was. Tura, it's you.
Fold around to king jack suited. King jack opens. Is yeah, I would probably just call with ace 10 off.
I would like to point out that the queen four suited is not even in the big blinds range against the hijack. I don't think.
Really?
I don't
Sorry.
think.
Interesting.
Not
Again?
to a 3x.
Say again.
Yeah.
Not to a 3x.
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah. I think you can call. It's the ace 10.
Look at that. No, the
Yeah,
the
wow.
queen four suited. The queen four suited that called from the
Queen-
small blind
Queen
wasn't
for
even
sure,
in the
for
big
sure
blind.
is not.
Yeah, that's how bad that was.
I wasn't even considering, but
Nope.
ace 10 it can squeeze or call, I guess, but I would call.
I don't know. Would you do, Mike? Would you take a look and see if the ace 10 is even in there after the small blind calls? Maybe it calls after the small blind calls, folds if the button calls.
an ace 10 squeeze.
Okay, so when he goes here and
Prob-
the small blind calls, small blind can't call to 3. All right,
Direct.
go to 2.5. Oh wait, I'll go to no, I can go to peak while you do that. You do that, I'll go to peak.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wizard.
if
Wizard says
they're
fold.
calling this wide, then probably you should probably call. But
But to the defense of squeezing, I think the small blind calling range here is not looking like this.
Yeah,
yeah,
So I think squeezing is much better than the solver would indicate.
Yeah, like when a small blind has not much of a calling range, you can almost say, okay, well, they got nothing. So how would I, well, and there's extra chips in the pot. So that incentivizes me to want to bluff a little more, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think your best against population, this is what I think. I think your best move is fold. I think your second best move is raise, and I think your third best move is call.
I like raise here.
well,
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah,
I would
and
probably
I'm
squeeze
okay
this
with it.
here.
I think fold's a little better than raise, but I'm okay with it. But call I think is the worst of the choices.
but why if they call this wide in the small blind and in all the if they're this loose?
Because while the small blind is dead, the hijack has position on you and you're in the sandwich. So so the flop is going to go very badly for you, because if the small blind checks range, not saying he's going to, but if he does, and it's on you, you can't act because you have the big blind after you and you still don't know what the small blind's going to do. You're just handcuffed being in the middle. That's why.
Let's go at it this way. How much? So what will we squeeze to here? Like 15?
15.
So how often, like, just pretend that we think that when we do this, the small blind, say we gotta read that they're slew splashy fish, right? And that's dead money.
Yeah.
So how often do we have to get the hijack to fold, to immediately profit when they fold? How often do they have to fold? Like 40%?
Or let's see, but it depends on how much value we have after the flop. If you're saying for the immediate thing,
So yeah, for immediately, like, say they fold, how much do we immediately, like how much do they have to fold for us to immediately profit?
15 to win 6. So. And then it's really only 14 because
We
we already.
win the 15 back we put in or no? You don't think of it that way?
No, it's,
Okay.
we take their 6 away by doing it. So yeah, it's, around 4, yeah, probably around 40%. I'm not doing the math. I'm doing the math in my head badly. But I think your number is right. Yeah. And they probably will. Yeah.
And then we're gonna be ahead sometimes,
Yeah.
also when they call, right? So I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
If the small blinds just, if you just have a good read that they're just flipping in, their V pips through the roof, right? Like they
Yeah.
don't flip shit.
And let's look at their HUD. Click on their HUD there, Mike, just for a second and see how obvious it is that they're playing like this. VPIP of 41.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's a V pip in cash? You go V pip like 20?
30, 25, anything, anything,
Oh,
anything
really?
in 30, anything
No,
between
30's get 30's getting up there.
22, 25.
Yeah, like this guy right here's got good numbers. Like if you were to,
Okay.
Yeah, it looks pretty solid.
And also it's at a 6 max table compared to a 9 max table.
Oh, it's gonna be higher than 6 max, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be
lower, like, yeah, 6 max will be high. Yeah, correct.
But
Higher,
it's
yeah.
gonna be pretty much like this.
higher. Okay.
And 6 max
This
is
is-
more
this
3
is-
bets, right?
Yeah, this is big. Okay. So but he calls, which I do think is the weakest of it, and we go on.
Check, check. And I would bet king jack in position, and I would go half pot.
Okay.
It was B33.
He goes B25 almost. Well, something goes
It's,
B30.
it's probably 3. They take that little bit of rake out.
Oh yeah, the rake out. Yeah. Okay.
I would call with queen 4, and ace 10 I would fold.
Yep.
Queen 4 should check. King jack. King jack can probably keep barreling. And I would go for an overbet now.
Always checking back in this position.
What size would you use, Tura?
Probably like 18 or something like that.
So overbet?
Yeah.
I like a B30. I like a smaller size for some reason. I like their size that they used. How about once you get that, the queen call?
I mean, the small side is nice knowing their hand, but like in position, I like to realize a lot here, like, because again, we think about when we bet, what's their calling range? It's mostly pairs at ace highs, right? We block a lot of the flush draws. We block straight draws with a king and a jack. Like, I just want to, like, I don't want to get raised here. I mean, I'm happy to call when I get raised,
but
but
when you overbet, you're not really gonna get raised a lot.
no. Like that one, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep, now you gotta bluff your front door flush draw that bricked. It's kind of bad. Like I always call them misdraws brick.
Now I would give up with king jack.
Yeah, the front doors give up a lot.
Yeah.
They go, they're gonna get called, I'm sure. Oh, they get. They
This
get
guy, well, he made 2 pair, of course. That's why I'm like, wait, he's jamming. What? I didn't realize he made 2 pair.
Yeah.
Um,
And
let's
that's
see.
why they'll keep playing this shit. He just melt what a big fucking pot.
Yeah.
He'll forget all the millions of blinds he lost trying to win hands with that shit.
let's give. So this was multi-way, so it's gonna be you
Yeah.
can't see what's going on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, just do a heads up.
So the one thing I think about this one is whether the only question I have on this one is do the other king jacks bet the river, but the spades don't? That's gonna be my guess. So
Curious-
you
I'm
can
curious
make
about the
blind or the-
turn, because honestly, in position, a lot of times you just want, you get an opportunity to realize all of your equity. It's nice.
Yeah. Let's go hijack against the big blind because clearly the queen 4 is closer to a big blind range than a small blind range.
Shoot, where to go? Queen nine spades, three of diamonds, queen nine of spades, three of diamonds. King Jack, obviously gonna have a lot of c betting on this flop with that hand. They went B33s multi-way, but that's probably normal anyway.
Yep. Their
They
king
call
jack
it.
suited did it. Yep.
So I mean, they have queen five. They're gonna always call top pair.
Yep.
We got the
Ace of not suit. Ace of diamonds. Ace of suit.
double flush, check. King
And
Jack,
now, king jack suited.
50,
Roll over.
B33s.
Roll over it, leave it there. So spades continue pure. So
Small betting.
just so Ken, just so you see this for the GTO solution, you're doing a lot of continuing with your king jack here.
On
And
the
the-
turn.
Yeah, on the turn.
With
Now,
half pots.
this doesn't mean you should,
Spades check the most, right?
nope. Spades bet small the most.
Oh, you're pure betting all those.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, you can ignore that.
So
little-
what's the
yeah.
argument? When you're this deep, you wanna just really build a pot?
The argument, I believe, is this. You start with a simple argument. We bet high equity draws and we bet premium hands and high equity draws and some really junky draws, right? On the turn, we continue to bet premium hands and high equity draws. This is a high equity draw. We continue to bet it. So that's a simple thing, just straight up poker coaching. Now, the next thing is this. Whose range is the ace better for? Ours, not the big blinds. Yes, he may, he folded a lot of aces, to our continuation bet.
Did he?
Yeah, he's not gonna continue with all
He
of his
did.
eight.
He didn't have many offsuit to begin with pre-flop, and then probably folded a few.
Yeah.
On the flop.
Yeah, cause
Whereas we have better aces than he has when we have them. We bet some of them. The ace is good for us.
so how many, let me see, can you go in the breakdown? Our ranges and then just see how many ace highs they have?
Yeah.
What percentage of their range is top pair, put it that way, range versus range, who has with top pair comparison? Is that our range 13.5?
So we're here.
We're on the right.
Our equity is considerably greater.
We
now.
have 22%, they have 13.5, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, but this is on the flop.
All right, so after we bet flop, I'm wondering, because then I think we condensed their range to pairs, draws, and they're gonna call with, they have to float some ace
They
high.
do, but look at what happened. Look at what happened when that ace came.
Yeah,
That made all of their queens unhappy. For the aces we continue to bet, or just looking at the numbers, our equity our equity when after his call was what? So click on the big blinds range, go back one to the left there. Okay. And his equity is 43%, right? Now, the ace of diamonds comes, we've gone his range, his equity went down,
yeah, we're
even though
down.
it was filtered. That's how good the ace is for us.
Yeah,
And backdoor diamonds. And so that's why our king jack can continue to bet. Now on the river, we're going to guess that the king jack of spades gives it up and the other king jacks might continue. Let's see. Nope. Nope. Not at all what I thought.
I mean, they do give up.
Yeah, but look at how much more the other ones give up.
Yeah, probably because the diamonds missed as well.
Yeah, it's my heuristic was just wrong. Because if my heuristic was right, the king jack of hearts would be doing it 100% of the time because we have it so much less frequently. And it doesn't. So the front door spades argument is just out the window. I don't know why. It's not true.
Probably because he's also gonna have a lot of like medium and medium spade draws that but you don't want to bluff those. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why. it can't be that the ace is so good for us that we get to bet everything because it didn't let us bet the other king jacks. And the whole idea is we want him to have spades because spades are insta folds. Our king jack has. Oh, I got it. I got it. Here's why. It's a freak thing. Go back to the board. Just click behind so we can see that board.
Where was it?
River.
What hand was
You can do
it?
it in the
GTO
solver.
Wizard.
Yeah, just click on GTO Wizard. This is why. Let's say he does have spades. Spades are an insta fold for him, right? We beat all the spades except for a spade that has a 3 or a 4 in it. We have the nothing in spades. So we can check behind. I mean, we can bet it as a bluff. But
But you would still want
no,
him.
that doesn't make sense either. Yep, I know nothing. Move on. I thought I had an answer.
What hand was that? Where were we? There we go.
Doesn't matter. Any handed,
There.
it was this one, but
Yep.
doesn't matter. Okay.
Who's up?
Who did the last one?
Tura.
Tura.
Maybe
Okay.
maybe because he's supposed to three bet a lot of king jack suited from the big blind.
Yeah, but the question is, so I can see why king jack is allowed to check back. And I can see why king jack would bluff to try to get, the smaller cards to play. I can't see why king jack of spades bluffs more than king
Ah,
jack.
yeah.
That's what I don't understand. And I thought I did.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Okay,
just don't.
5-6 can open. It's low frequency. King queen should three bet.
Hmm.
And Jack 7 should call. Check range from the big blind. 5-6 can probably bet. 75 or
Fine.
small. I think both is fine.
Yeah.
Check. Jack 7 out. Keep checking as well. 5-6 should start bluffing, I guess.
Yeah.
And now, if I'm on a big blind, I might consider bluffing. This is kind of too small, I guess. And 5-6 should call.
To a bigger size, 5-6 needs to fold, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
Yeah. But yeah.
if the big blind was value betting, he's probably not value betting worse than a king for this sizing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's just too cheap, I guess.
Yep.
Big blind will have a lot of air here.
All right. Dean, you're up.
A6. King jack. Probably too early to three bet. Too early position to three bet it.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's a fold.
Let's fold it.
Yeah. Call.
I think you get a lot of calls from population though.
Yeah.
But I thought he's probably a good player because he has a double stack. Call.
Queen 9
He
should
should,
fold.
he should fold, but he's going to call.
Yeah, queen 9 should fold, but they call.
Should fold there, yeah. But he calls.
Check. If I see bet. Got a backdoor. Great. Nope. This is better. He's good. He's a good card. Is he gonna bet though?
What do you do? What do you do, Dean?
bet.
I don't hate, by the way, I don't hate the not bet there, with ace high. I would have bet it also, but I don't hate that you didn't. You have showdown.
Check. Oh, wow. Kind of like a roll for it, hero. You got it?
I mean, we good with it? I think
Yeah.
You're good with it.
checking to the river part is probably okay. I know that we should probably have a little bit more aggression versus populations. But taking that ace high to the river and then obviously making a call with any pair probably, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
Ken.
Go.
Oh, yeah.
So me?
Yep.
I mean, so I'm gonna open ace four suited, probably not a thing here.
It
Okay,
is.
we
You
good.
can open up ace four suited that early.
And that should get through.
Yeah,
But no.
surprise, surprise.
So you say we play, you play check strategy out of position. I'm not checking this. Further away you get from the button, I think you get to bet more anyway.
Mhm.
But, yeah, I'm gonna bet this. Would have went a little bigger.
I think it's fine.
3-4, easy call.
The obvious call.
I mean, that card should be insignificant, but I'll play check. Cause I don't know what they're calling with.
Nice.
Ooh, spicy.
They are both playing against you.
I
This is
like-
What if he just jams?
This-
What the heck?
This
Well,
is,
he's open ended now. He ain't never folding. This guy's gonna hit his ace and go broke.
Or he's gonna check the river and
He's hit an
again
ace.
fold.
Oh,
Good check fold.
If you're gonna play 3-4, that's the way to play it, kids.
all right.
If I was gonna say if he calls, that'd be crazy.
So, I mean, we're all gonna play this ace four here most of the time. We get the flop. We're gonna see bet it often, which is fine. It's a check kind of situation. It's a check, high frequency check, but versus players like the players that are in these fields, c betting is much more profitable than a solver will
Yeah.
indicate.
cleans up a lot of equity, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So a lot of us would be here, and this overbet is probably not too bad. Like I like this is probably a pretty, in theory, I think we're going to see this
Really?
on that turn.
What else are you doing it with? Like queen ace and
Ace, queen, and
queen,
your
queen,
overpairs,
maybe?
and then your
Okay.
bluffs come from like you've got this gut shot here with an over card. Like you're not going to do it often.
What about like fives? Or I mean sevens?
Yeah.
Let's look at this one in the soft.
Before you go on, I got a question. Whose HUD is this?
Poker Tracker 4.
Yeah, but whose HUD? Whose HUD are we
Mike.
looking?
Uh,
we
Scotty, this is your HUD?
yeah.
Do you have fold to C bet on your HUD?
Yeah.
Yes?
So like this guy, yeah. So like this guy right here.
Oh, so that's pretty good, 33. So a lot of, what I'll see is like, I'll check that often before I bet. Like if I know, so here's like an exploit I use. If I know I'm supposed to check on, say it's a board I know, say I'm playing whatever, hijack versus big blind to flops, 6-5-4, and I know I'm supposed to, or even like ace-5-4, and I'm supposed to check a decent amount of my range. I look at their HUD. If their fold to C bet's really high, I just go ahead and range bet. But if they defend, like this guy seems with the 33, seems to be defending fairly well, then I'll try to stay close to GTO. But a lot of people just way overfold the flop bets. They're too wide and they can't defend properly. And that's one of the clues to that is how much they fold on the flop. And you can just get away with mercifully, like again, betting against them people, right? So
Yep.
really,
That makes a lot of
100%
sense.
agree.
You can't rely on this HUD for that because this is one out of this. There's only 3 C bets that we're looking at.
in this hand, for against this guy, okay.
against this
yeah.
guy, yeah. But,
Off
I
of
imagine
very
his fold to
low-
C bet's probably up 45-50%.
but your point's well made.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to know, it's just good things to know.
He's not folding.
I'm not holding that hand on that flop.
Uh,
I also- The one thing we can though, even with the few hands we have on him, but keep doing what you're doing there, Mike. The one thing I want to look at the end is I want to look at his HUD and see what his VPIP is. You know, is what brought him in with a 4-3 offsuit. How big a VPIP do you need to have?
80%,
100%.
Yeah,
His VPIP is only 29. So something weird happened on this hand. Because if you're calling 4-3 here, you're calling a lot more shit than brings you to a 29.
Maybe he just wants to play every hand on the button, thinking he's got position and he could just, and because look, the way he played it, seems like he's got like a lot of confidence with playing and getting away with murder on the button.
Yeah.
so we see 70% range check. These your back doors, like the ace four diamonds that he has here, like sub bet here. They go for it, obviously. Three, yeah, okay, call. And we get the 5 of clubs. Let's see if we get the overbets. There's some overbetting happening with, like we said, these ranges, and the ace four suited is in there.
Good.
So the 5 should be a brick. But then
Yeah,
when you,
exactly.
then when you start giving the ranges that contain like all the suited stuff that have these low board coverage, which a lot of people repip the suited shit, right? I can't imagine really dreaming up most people having 4-3 here ever, but I can see them having 4-3 suited, like these suited one gappers and suited connectors and like all the suited kings, a lot of the suited queens, a lot of suited jacks. Like then you might have to develop more of a checking range.
But this 5 also gave us equity. It took our backdoor, when we bet a backdoor draw with one overcard and an ace high. Now we have a direct deck. Now we have direct
Got it.
equity straight. That's what allows us to overbet here on our hand.
Yeah, so that didn't surprise me because that 5 is essentially a brick, and we have a pretty significant nut advantage at this point. We're going to see this a lot. But yeah, and did we want to go on? What was the
Yeah, so he bets there.
should he continue after that overbet? Probably not, right?
He needs to give up here.
So he went B125, got called.
Yeah, kind of taking your shot on the turn, right?
Yeah, although the solver doesn't like to take one shot. The solver likes to win hands.
It doesn't like to get stacked though.
No, it doesn't like to get stacked.
So yeah, it
Damn.
mixes 50-50 with a big
Yeah, it
bet.
doesn't mind, but yeah. Yeah, so yeah.
But I don't know, but to population, I think it's pretty risky.
Yeah.
You
I'd like to
really,
say
you really filtered him when you did that turn bet.
Yeah,
if you
obviously not.
if you were playing in a home game and you had the 4-3 on the button, and as you looked at it, somebody behind you who wasn't in the game, who was a friend, saw that you had the 4-3. Given then the rest of it, the way he played it, I think was good. So if you're showing off to if in other words, if there's a reason that you got forced to play the 4-3 here, like you were in the stand-up game, well, I don't know how you could play the 4-3 in the stand-up game. You were there and on a side bet, bet you won't play the 4-3, fuck you. This is a really good way to play it.
So your HUD will never have good, strong stats on anyone because it's Iggy and it resets like it doesn't remember them from one game to the next.
Correct.
Right?
Nope,
Yeah,
it'll be brand new every time you play.
But what we've learned is this, that people who are playing far outside the norm, if people who have an 86% VPIP on Iggy after not even 34 hands, people who have an 84% VPIP after 16 hands are playing way too fucking wide. That didn't happen because of the hands they got. We haven't discovered that people who have a 3 VPIP after 18 hands are playing really tight. It's not surprising to get no playable hands in 18 hands. But, you don't get 86% playable hands. They are playing way too tight.
Are
When- when-
you guys have a nice profit on Iggy?
Shut up. Who asked you?
No,
When-
so I'm gonna say, like, cause
I-
like bet online, you can use a HUD, right? And know the players, right? There's a card catcher.
Yeah,
Is that- That's not anonymous, is it?
no, it's not. I haven't looked at the last time I looked, I have a 1.5 big blinds per hundred, per 100. I don't have a very good thing at all. And I play on Iggy for study. I do it
So,
specifically
and
so,
also, like, I've been playing on club, well, I was playing on club, and that has a HUD that's useless, but if they have one. But the players aren't anonymous, and you can make notes, and that is the softest fucking site I ever seen for cash.
gotcha.
But I stopped playing on there recently, very little on there, and I switched to BetMGM because I get fucking rewards and shit. Right? So, and it's better, and I can put it in my HUD. So I'm not playing on clubs as much as I used to, or I was in the beginning. But I mean, it is so fucking soft. It's unbelievable.
Was that
And you can put notes on people, which is fantastic.
Club GG or?
Clubs poker.
Uh-huh.
I have a rake back code. So you need a wallet to get money off of there they give you 50 cents free a day just for logging on, and then whatever.
Wow.
Like, so I did that. I went on for nothing. I just logged on every day. I got up to like $20. I played like a $5 MTT. I didn't do shit. I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'll play cash. And I got like $250 on there playing micros over the past month. And I don't play that often. It's ridiculously soft.
Who's next?
Okay, that was, who did the last one? As I,
Dean?
oh, Dean did it? Okay.
I don't know.
Ken's up next.
Was it Dean or was it Ket?
It's,
I played the ace forehand.
you play the ace forehand. Okay, so Larry is up if he wants it. JD is up if he wants it.
This will be our last one too, Scotty, because I'm gonna have to go.
Yep, and then it's skate or die. Skate showed up, you get one bluff hand, and then we will be done. Your
Right.
skate,
Here. Yep. Blind versus blind. King 8. Okay. That's pretty bad, but right. I imagine right now cutoff versus big blind. I think it's this call.
Anybody? Three bet, ace three off, or ace
Up.
three suited.
Half the time.
Whoops, sorry.
Yeah.
Not ace deuce,
Yeah.
but you could consider ace 3 through ace 5, I guess, as a bluff. Maybe even. Yeah, sorry for the noise. I'm on the bus.
Oh.
All right, here we go. I imagine big blind is going to check. I don't know what 7-5 is going to do because they should not have opened his hand, but if I were here, they could bet repping king. They did not. I imagine it's going to go check again on big blind. And now, okay, now we check. All right. So is this a bluff hand or? All right, so I imagine now we could bet for value. Hero. No.
that's what we're looking for.
I imagine a big blind hero is just gonna fly call. They could still have, even though should have played it differently, they could still have king 10 suited, even ace king, if they decided to check all the way to the river. Which I don't think almost nobody's doing, but
Check
you call-
raise, check raise this guy,
Call or raise?
raise.
yeah, would be king 10. We lose to ace 10, ace king, but we don't see ace king in his hand, right? So I don't mind the raise. I don't know why you mentioned king 10.
Yeah, we lose to queen
Um,
jack also. Let's raise anyway. We lose to
Yeah.
3-3, raise anyway.
Top and bottom good enough to go for a raise?
Hell yeah. The action was check, 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 right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Queen jack could have bet turn, but
Yeah.
Not too thin?
No, because,
What do
okay,
you get
Ace
called with?
queen,
what do you get called with? Aces.
Called by?
Okay, so he called flop. This was you raised and he called, right? Pre-flop?
He raised, I called.
Oh, okay, you're in the big blind. Okay, because I looked away for a second. Okay, so now I see how the hand goes. He raised, you call. So you check your bottom pair, makes sense. He checks
he
behind.
doesn't check back
check
ace
here.
queen,
He checks again.
or probably not king ten.
So he's got ace jack. He's got all kinds of aces that he just raised here, right? He's got some bluffs. Sure, he can have queen jack, but he had to not bet it on the turn. He had to not bet any of his draws there. But he has all kinds of aces, and you beat all of them. That makes sense because the king would have bet already. The king would have bet on the flop. The 10 might have bet on the turn. His ace 10 might not have. So ace 8. I'll give him ace 8 here and all the other aces that you beat.
I mean, yeah, when you mentioned that now, I could see reason for raising. We only lose to ace 10 really, and he could have checked back ace queen, ace jack, like you mentioned.
Right. Also, maybe he plays queen queen like this. I don't know why he does. And why make it easy on him?
But does he call all those aces that you're talking about? Does he call
Everyone.
queen? Does he call?
He calls every one of the aces. No, king, queen, no. And he probably folds his queen, but you can make his queens unhappy. No, I think he bet king, queen already. And when you get re-raised, you fold. So yeah, I don't think this is too thin.
He's only gonna raise with queen jack.
All right, solver him.
But like how much he was,
I'll solve it later.
he would have c-bet
Take a shot of
queen jack on a
You got
king high flop, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and whatever little bit of queen jack, if he somehow gets there, like that's what's gonna raise, because
Mike, would you do me one favor? Share the screen just for another second.
I gotta raise the nuts. Set of aces,
And then you can
raise
go.
queen
then-
jack, probably, that's about it.
He probably checked
And-
like an ace X on a king high flop, but bet queen jack.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, ace 10.
Yeah.
Ace 10 will raise there, set of aces.
So, Ken, you were asking, this is my results over the past year. So this
Oh,
is,
no, I wasn't asking. I was just asking how these are, I just asked if these were winning generally on there or not, that's all.
yeah, I guess I'm, yeah, 5.87 big blinds per 100. I'm pretty
Look at
happy.
that red line king.
I am red line king.
I don't see, I don't, oh, would you put it in chat?
No, it's on the screen.
I don't
I
see it.
You don't see it?
I see it.
This is
Your
your red
screen.
line at the top, that's
screen.
pretty good.
Yeah, I'm king of the red line.
How many hands?
This is 14,000. Let me give you some more. Let me go back.
I
I'll go
gotta
back.
get my red line up.
Yeah, let me get. Here we go.
I only have 2,500 hands on, Bet MGM. Like I
Okay.
said, I just started playing cash, scrolling around a little bit.
How do you get up?
My big
when
blinds
you-
per 100 and
you get like the
2,500
club
hands
thing
is
on
30.
MGM?
Here we go. Here's 40,000 hands and I'm down to 1.12, but I got better. This is including 2 years ago and I'm better now. And this is all at $1. So the $100 game.
Oh, nice.
And most of it's at the $100 game.
Get you starting out as a nit and then booming up.
Yeah.
So are you bluffing too much?
Yeah.
You
Yes.
gotta get some kind of bounce between the red line and that purple line, right?
Yeah, but all I really got to do is get that green line up to the yellow line and I'm doing fine.